never heard to begin a busy broadcast week. I can guarantee it. I'm going to tell you, for at least 20 minutes or so, you probably shouldn't listen to this show. For at least 20 minutes, I can guarantee you are going to be offended. You are going to wonder exactly what the heck I am thinking. You are going to wonder why it is that I'm doing what I'm doing. And I am dead serious about this. If you've got kids in the car, this is probably the 1 hour of the day that there are more kids in more cars than any other hour. It's like the hour to pick up kids from school. I'm telling you, folks, put on Disney Radio on your iHeartRadio app. Change the station, preferably to another iHeartRadio station. Check out what John Mercure is doing down at WTMJ. I frankly don't care. Kids absolutely should not listen to this first segment. Now you're saying, Dan, if this is so terrible, if you are actively telling people not to listen, what in the name of all things good and holy could you possibly be doing? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, inseminating and inseminated persons of Wisconsin, please trust that I need to do this to illustrate exactly how badly Democrats have lost us normies. Do you know what a normie is in millennial and Gen Z speak? A normie is simply someone who is normal. Someone who goes to work, someone who picks up the kids from school. If you're a kid, you play on the baseball team, you do your homework, you go to school, you live a normal life. You're a normie. Democrats have major problems with normies. And a big reason for it is something that happened at a pair of Bernie Sanders rallies in Kenosha County this past weekend at both UW Parkside and Altoona High School. Bernie was joined by a musical guest, not just any musical guest, because it's a Democrat and because Democrats simply can't just be normal human beings, can't just appeal to normal human beings. It had to be an anti-Christian transgender singer. We will get to that. And again, I'm going to give you a countdown so that you don't hear anything offensive. And I swear, I promise you, it's going to be offensive, but it's necessary to show you, to illustrate exactly what the Democrats, and not just any Democrat, but the leading Democrat when it comes to winning the hearts and minds of the Democratic Party, of the liberal movement. This is their hero. If you'd like to join the Dan O'Donnell Show, if you would like to lodge a complaint, the email address is jerrybott@iheartmedia.com. Here is his direct office line. Be sure to reference that the Dan O'Donnell Show sucks. It's offensive. You never want to hear it again. Ask when Belling's coming back. This latest hiatus is a little too long for your liking. By the way, the Mark Belling Show podcast will debut on May 1st. Guarantee, though, he would be covering this story as well. Because frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I've been doing this a long time. I'm pretty doggone cynical and jaded. I am very difficult to offend. This one, I honestly don't know what that old socialist coot was thinking. 414-799-1130. If you would like to call in on the adventnews.com talk and text line, you can email me, dod@iheartmedia.com, at Dan O'Donnell Show on X, where you can watch the show streaming live via the Dan O'Cam. Also, facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show, and on our YouTube channel. Coming up later on in the show, a bar in West Allis, according to several patrons, lives up to its name. It's a Dan O'Donnell Show exclusive that is blowing up on social media. Also, I was very privileged, very pleased to talk to the Washington County Republican Party on Saturday for a great Save America event. Russell Jones, former judicial candidate, great conservative, just a great guy. His wife, Laura, the organizer, the chairwoman of the Washington County Republican Party, put on just an incredible event. Ladies and gentlemen, at said event, I saw the future. I saw how Republicans can win every single election moving forward. And I will tell you how easy it is that you can all but guarantee a Brad Schimmel victory just by downloading and using an app. Don't worry, it's safe. It's not going to give you viruses. It's not going to allow me to track you. I'm already doing that through your iHeartRadio app. I'm telling you, it is insane how good this app is. And it gets to the heart of something of a civil war that's going on right now in the Wisconsin Republican Party. And while I am trying my best not to take sides, there is one side that is apparently refusing to embrace this new technology and is apparently content with getting its rear end kicked in the data war. Of course, the Trump tariffs leading to a big sell-off on Wall Street. We will get to that and much, much more on the Dan O'Donnell Show. Unhinged liberal of the day. Of course, we'll talk to Dave Spano, unsung hero of the day, and all sorts of fun. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, I am not kidding you. Please, if you have kids in the car, 12 minutes or so, I'll probably be doing this. The soundbite with the offensive lyrics is 1 minute and 28 seconds. So, at the very least, but I am going to be referencing, obviously we bleeped out the naughty words. There is one that was sort of questionable that we let in there primarily for effect. Folks, I am not, well, I kind of am, doing this to intentionally offend you. I want to lay my intentions bare right now. Do you know why I'm doing this? Do you know why I'm intentionally offending you? To illustrate just how intentionally offensive the Democratic Party is. Bernie Sanders has kicked off his End Oligarchy tour, which apparently is going to finance a fifth house for America's most famous socialist. And he's doing so in Wisconsin and Michigan, two of the critical blue wall states that fell in 2024, delivering Donald Trump the presidency. One of his opening acts was the singer of the band Against Me. Those who listened to emo and punk rock in the early 2000s probably remember this. Well, the singer is now a transgender woman who goes by the name Laura Jane Grace. And Laura Jane now has a different band, and their biggest song is called Your God. When I say the lyrics to this song, which he/she performed on an acoustic guitar to 3,500 people at both UW Parkside and a high school in Wisconsin, are offensive, would be the biggest understatement of my career. Your God asks the philosophical question, how big God's, how shall I put this, godhood is. Folks, you just have to hear it for yourself. If you have kids in the car, if you have sensitive ears, 10 minutes, turn off the radio, listen to something else. I promise you, we've got great stuff coming up that is all age appropriate. Here is your final warning. In 3, 2, 1. Laura Jane Grace from the Bernie Sanders rally this weekend.
Does your God have a big fat dick? 'Cause it feels like he's fucking me.
Told ya.
Are his balls filled with lightning? Do they tingle like heaven's keys? Does your God have a big fat dick? 'Cause it feels like he's fucking me.
nuts for Does Your God?
Big fat cause it feels like he's fucking me. Are his balls filled with lightning? Do they tingle like heaven's keys? Does your God have a big fat cause it feels like he's fucking me? That's his ego deep, so deep it puts a nest. Who's the 6 to his 9? What are his other kids? He grows all the trees, does he taste every peach? So God f***ing you and f***ing me. I know creation must be lonely after all he's one and only, and his son was so well hung. I think the big man that's so fun. Does your God have a big fat cause it feels like he's f***ing me? Are his balls filled with lightning? Do they tingle like heaven's keys? Does your God have a big fat cause it feels like he's f***ing me? Does your God have a big fat cause he's f***ing you and me?
Now, the biggest takeaway to me was how beautiful and feminine a voice Laura Jane Grace has. I mean, that was a song straight from an angelic choir. Does your God have a... What does she now identify as Joey Ramone? My God, talentless hack. Against Me was part of the screamo punk rock trend of about 2006, 2007. And even though Laura Jane has transitioned, the bands, if a high school band or a high school singer sang that, they would be kicked out instantly. Now, I will also note, as I do whenever a liberal sings about God or Jesus or just how awful Christianity is, I would dare them to sing, Does Muhammad have a big fat? Are his filled with lightning? Is Allah bleeping you and me? I actually cut out the second verse, not just for time, because I think you got the idea. We didn't need to hear all 2.5 minutes of the number one hit, Does Your God Have a Bleep, Bleep, Bleep? I honestly, it is all about, I think we're all adults here. The second verse is all about God ejaculating. Now, I'm not offended as a Christian. I'm offended as someone with ears, because that might have been the worst song I think I've ever heard. But over and above that, ladies and gentlemen, Does Your God Have a Big Fat Bleep is precisely the reason Democrats have lost Normies. Does Your God Have a Big Fat Bleep, sung by a transgender in a high school gym, is 100% in support of one of the most popular Democrats in the entire country, is 100% the reason we now have President Donald Trump. So in that sense, I think as offensive as Does Your God Have a Big Fat Bleep may be, we need to thank Bernie and thank Laura Jane Grace for gracing us with that alleged music, because this is the sort of stuff that is going to keep delivering conservatives victories. Now, as you might imagine, I know people have opinions about this. So we are going to open up the phone lines, 414-799-1130. Already a whole lot of texts coming in. That is our adventknows.com talk and text line. Reach us toll free as well, 1-800-838-9476. Speaking of music, we are going going to actually play real music. It is the week before St. Patrick's Day, and O'Donnell isn't just a stage name. I am incredibly proud of my Irish heritage. St. Patrick's Day is a big deal. Always has been in my family. My grandfather and my dad, now that my grandma and grandpa have passed, would always make Irish soda bread. I guess grandma would make that. Corned beef and cabbage, and we would celebrate St. Patrick's Day. So this week and this week only, Irish punk music as our bumper music, starting right now. Your phone calls, your texts, more on that alleged song at the Bernie rally, coming up next on The Dan O'Donnell Show.
Our iHeartRadio Music Awards are coming back Monday, March 17th on Fox.
Celebrating an exclusive first look at the biggest new songs coming in the summer of 25.
Bad Bunny, Billie Eilish,
Glorilla, Gracie Abrams,
Kenny Chesney,
Money Long,
Nelly.
your host, LL Cool J.
Watch live on Fox Monday, March 17th, starting at 7 p.m.
And listen on iHeart radio stations across America and the free iHeart app.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected. Also, you forgot to renew your website domain, and now you're in a bidding war.
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room, and now everything smells weird.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Heroes like Austin Reese have paid a high price for our freedom. Austin served 3 deployments to Iraq. He spent 13 years with the Navy Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit and became a military freefall instructor. But in what was thought to be a routine jump, something went terribly wrong. Austin was left paralyzed. Tunnel to Towers built Austin a specially adapted smart home. Help heroes. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
Dan O'Donnell here for the Lynch family of dealerships. This week only, push, pull, or drag in your trade and save with a $5,100 minimum discount on all in-stock used and select new vehicles. They want your trade. Got a rust bucket? They'll take it. An old beater? They need her. So bring her to Lynch Chevrolet of Kenosha on Highway 50 or the Lynch GM Superstore on Highway 36 in Burlington. Lynch McWanago right off of I-43. The all-new Lynch Ford of McWanago on Main Street or Lynch Buick GMC of West Bend on Main Street. A $5,100 minimum discount on all in-stock used and select new vehicles at any of the Lynch family of dealerships. Just off I-94 and Highway 50 in Kenosha, a short ride down Highway 36 in Burlington, right off I-43 on Main Street in McWanago or Main Street in West Bend. Push, pull, or drag in your trade and find new roads at shoplynch.com.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Baseball is back. All Brewers games are on sale now. Score a seat to opening day. All new theme nights and games with can't-miss giveaways now. Gear up for a huge season. The Crew is back. Get your seats now at brewers.com/ticket finder.
It's like being trapped in a cage. And I know, that sounds dramatic, but your breathing triangle problem has got you trapped. And once you're freed, you're going to be able to live the life that you're missing out on. Now, this can simply mean experiencing the true pleasure of breathing freely. It will mean better sleep and more energy. And the worry of this problem anymore affecting your life is going to be gone. Because in almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it's a one and done. Because we're not in the business of delivering Band-Aids. We want to fix your nasal breathing problem for good. We don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Isn't it time you break free from that cage? Take the next step. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
I'm attorney Tom Grieve, here to tell you about Grieve Civil Law. Life is unpredictable, and the consequences of not planning for the future can be devastating. Have you ever thought about what would happen if you ended up in the hospital without the ability to make your own medical decisions? Or what will happen to your family if you die without a will? Without a power of attorney, your family could face agonizing decisions without knowing what you wanted. You could undergo medical interventions you don't want, or worse, lie in limbo while medical staff tries to determine who should have the final say in what happens to you. When you're gone, your loved ones could end up in probate with legal battles, high court costs and fees, and family disputes over your assets. In probate, everyone can see your assets, from the government to your nosy neighbors. Plan today so you can have peace of mind tomorrow. Don't leave your family in chaos and confusion. Contact Grieve Civil Law today, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. Visit grievecivillaw.com.
The next time you're due for service, visit richlands.com to schedule an appointment at any of our 5 conveniently located facilities.
All AAA approved and all staffed by ASE certified technicians ready to serve you.
Richlands.
All programs on News Talk 1130 WISN are broadcast through the NX Wealth Management Studios. NX Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Matt Hurt in the Dan O'Donnell Show St. Patrick's Day bumper rotation with Adieu, Sweet Baby. We have got all of the songs that we are playing today all week long, straight through to St. Patrick's Day. Irish punk rock, Celtic punk, the Dropkick Murphys, Flogging Molly, and many, many more. There is a Spotify playlist. We will share that as soon as we can here on the Dan O'Donnell Show, on our social media at Dan O'Donnell Show on X, Facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show. Got this text. My son was attending classes at UW Parkside Friday and was encouraged by teachers to stay for the Bernie rally. He didn't because he voted for Trump. It makes me sick to think I'm paying thousands of dollars in tuition to a school that would support this offensive program. That program included Laura Jane Grace, a transgender singer, the former singer, I believe they broke up, of the screamo punk band Against Me, performing. The song is entitled Your God, but in parentheses, does your God have a big fat bleep? And bleep is exactly the word that you would think it is. To which I dare Laura. You know what, Paul? I have my generous offer to the Susan Crawford campaign. And by the way, they were encouraging get out the vote efforts for Susan Crawford for Supreme Court. Is anybody going to ask her if her God has a big fat bleep? Does she support this? Because you know damn well if this was Ted Nugent singing an offensive song in support of Brad Schimmel, every Republican from here to Timbuktu would have a microphone shoved in their face. Do you support the offensive lyrics of Kid Rock? So I offered the Susan Crawford campaign. My donation is now up to $25,000. I'm just going to keep increasing it. And I don't want to be that guy, but yes, this is actually a serious offer. Yes, I can actually write that kind of check. And yes, I probably would get divorced if I did so. But you wrote a check to who? My wife. We have to pay for a house. Why did you donate to Susan Crawford? Because I'm asking in exchange the unedited, uncut, unfiltered video or audio of that meeting she attended where the express purpose was putting 2 congressional seats in play in 2026. If they didn't do it, if they're not trying to rig the midterms by getting this left-wing hack elected, give me the tape. I give you $25,000. It's just that simple. Wisconsin Democratic Party, same offer. You give me that unedited tape, $25,000, or I will donate it to whatever, if you want to give transgenders abortions. I will pay $25,000 so we can pretend that a pregnant man is actually pregnant. We can give a pretend abortion to a pregnant man, okay? Whatever you want. I will give a matching $25,000 to Laura Jane Grace if Laura Jane will go in front of the Islamic Society of Milwaukee and sing, "Does Allah Have a Big Fat Bleep?" Here are the lyrics in case you couldn't tell. Again, if there are kids in the car, 3, 2, 1. Does your God have a big fat bleep because it feels like he's bleeping me? Are his balls filled with lightning? Do they dangle like heaven's keys? $25,000. All you've got to do, go to the Islamic Society of Milwaukee. I will pay, how about this, an additional $25,000 to Ben Wickler directly. I'll just give him $25,000 if he shows up on stage with Laura Jane, Susan Crawford too, and Laura Jane plays, "Does Allah Have a Big Fat Bleep? Because it feels like he's bleeping me. Do Allah's balls Are Allah's balls filled with lightning? Do they dangle like Muhammad's keys?" All you got to do, perform that for the Islamic Society of Milwaukee. That is a lot of money. My wife right now is frantically texting me saying, "Dan, we're going to need to take out a second mortgage." I am 1,000% serious about this. And invite me to the performance. That is another key. Does Allah have a big fat bleep? Seems like a simple performance. I mean, this is something. And I mean, I know this is chump change because Bernie Sanders is the wealthiest socialist in America by far. He's got 3 homes. I only have 1 home that, if anyone takes me up on these offers, I will in no way be able to afford. I only have 1 home. I still am asking Bernie to, in the name of fairness, give me one of his homes so that we can be equal and both have 2 homes. And I think I established this on one of last week's shows. I actually did call his office to ask this, and they must have gotten this call a bunch. This was years ago, because I was hung up on very, very quickly. We go out to the phones and talk to John in Waukesha. You're on the Dan O'Donnell Show. What's going on, John?
Man, Dan, you know what? It's offensive, but to be honest, is it really surprising?
No.
I mean, when you really think about it, after what we saw last week during this speech, and after all the BS...
Trump's speech, you mean, yeah.
Yeah, during that speech, that President Trump, had made, all the BS that we saw in that, and then all the stuff that we witnessed over the last 4 years, and really, if you really want to get technical, the last 12 years of the party, it's really not that surprising. And furthermore, it just shows, as you said, why they are so out of touch. And I caught something on Fox and Friends earlier, I think it was today, it might have been yesterday, where there was a Democrat that was saying, "Oh, well, we're still finding our footing. We're still trying to find our footing." Well, if you're still trying to find your footing, knowing that the American people are not for the things you're doing, then there is no footing to
exactly. Can you do me a favor, John, before I have to move on? Can you say we have to find our footing again?
We have to find our footing.
I am going to hire you to be my Democrat voice, John. That was spectacular. Absolutely fantastic call, my friend. If anything, John, I think we should thank Laura Jane Grace for illustrating just who Democrats are. There's exactly one Democrat that I can think of right now at the state level, at the national level, at any level of the Democratic Party that would actually publicly come out and denounce this crap. Do you know who? Fetterman. The guy with brain damage understands what's going on. By the way, I am convinced I am right about what's going on with Fetterman. He was treated very, very extensively for depression, for stroke. I mean, it's tragic. Like, he lost fine motor skills. He lost the ability to process his thoughts, to be able to verbalize what it was he was thinking. You could see the guy was just, he was depressed, and he went into inpatient treatment before he came out sounding like Donald Trump, proving, to me at least, proving if you are mentally healthy, you are more likely to be a conservative. Every major study on mental health, on happiness, on outlook on life, on connection to family and friends and community has come to the same conclusion. The more conservative you are, or better put, the more liberal you are, the less satisfied you are with life, the less happy you are with yourself, the less connected you are to friends and family, the less connected you are to your neighbors, to your community, to your faith community, whomever it is. Our old friend Bill from Oconomowoc, one of the very, very few liberals who actually does call this show. How are you doing, my friend? Great to hear from you.
Oh, just fine. And by the way, don't lose the house. Don't get your wife mad. We both
probably good advice. Left or right. We can all agree on that one.
But Dan, I got to ask you, how low are you going to go? I mean, you don't go just low. You go beyond low. You try and hyphenate and make this sound like the theme of the Democrat Party when your party is in total chaos.
Wait, hold on. I tried to hyphenate. I'm not sure I follow.
Okay, well, you focus on the ridiculous and put that on the Democratic Party. Well, and your party is collapsing.
Bernie Sanders drew 3,500 people, I believe, to the Parkside rally. I didn't get a number on the rally in Altoona.
Okay, 3,500. I bet only 1,000 support it. All right. How's that sound?
Okay. Hold on. We're going to play for you.
Don't play it.
Laura. Why not?
Don't. Because you're insulting my intelligence and yours. Please, you're a smarter guy than that.
Wait, are you saying you're a little offended by it, Bill?
Dan, I'm totally offended by that and you.
Okay.
Because America is a lot bigger than that theme song. The Democrats have done so much. If you don't think so,
but I don't want you to focus, Bill. I don't want you to hang up. Hold on. I don't want you to hang up. I want you to focus on the crowd's reaction, and I'm only going to play a tiny little bit of it, okay? The crowd's reaction. These are all Democrats. They are 3,500.
I'll hang up.
That's not the threat you think it is, but I don't want you to hang up, Bill. I don't want you to hang up, okay?
Play it. Don't play that nonsense.
So you're saying you don't even want to hear it because you're so offended by it.
I'm offended by you playing that, and I'm offended by that song.
But you're not offended by Bernie Sanders having that song at all of his rallies. Because this wasn't just a one-off. It's not like Laura Jane Grace was just in Kenosha. Laura Jane Grace is on tour with Bernie. And Bernie is, you got to admit, Bill, Bernie is like, this isn't just some random Dem from somewhere that I just picked out of thin air, right? Bernie Sanders is a star. If the Democratic Party didn't rig the primaries in 2016 and 2020, he would have been the Democratic presidential nominee both times. This is not just some random guy. I would say he is a standard bearer for the Democrat Party. Would you not agree?
Absolutely not.
Bernie Sanders is not a standard bearer for the Democrats?
No. Well, that's why you're not a Democrat. You don't get the Democrats. You don't even comprehend what they're about. They used to be called Republicans, and now they're called Democrats. I've been in the party a lot longer than you have. I was in the party.
Are you talking about like the Jeffersonian Democratic Republicans?
No, I'm talking about when Dwight Eisenhower, my dad introduced me to that man. That was the standard bearing for conservatives.
That's pretty awesome.
And when our
wait, hold on. You got to meet Dwight Eisenhower?
Yeah.
If you don't mind my asking, how old were you?
I was, I can tell, about 14.
That's pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. I am really jealous of you, Bill. I'll tell you what. I am running way late for a break, so I am going to have to let you go. if you don't think Bernie is I think what Bill's point is, and Paul took a while off the air to try to get Bill on point. His point is, I'm painting with too broad of a brush. That, okay, there's this one transgender singer at one rally, but really this is not the Democrats. Do you know who disagrees with Bill? One of the most respected Democrat strategists and thinkers, Van Jones. We'll get his take coming up next right here on The Dan O'Donnell Show.
I don't have time for a home project this year. I don't want to deal with the home improvement dragging on and on. It doesn't have to. Hi, Colleen with Tri-County Contracting. If a new roof is needed this year, we can make the entire project move quickly and be worry-free. No responsibility will be on your shoulders. We'll take care of everything. Worry-free roofing is an instant roof quote button right on our website, tricountycontractingwi.com. Name, address, and email, and you will have your price. Worry-free roofing is a fast and easy estimate process. Worry-free roofing is out with that old, tired, leaking roof and in with a new, beautiful, dimensional shingle roof. Worry-free roofing is a quick and annoyance-free roof install. No material or dumpster sitting for days or weeks. Most homes are completed in just one day. Worry-free roofing is a lifetime product warranty and a lifetime workmanship warranty. It's also getting free enrollment in the Every Year Inspection Program, where you get a free roof inspection and maintenance every year for 10 years. Worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting.
We're the Libby family
at Do-It-Yourself Bathroom Center near State Fair on 62nd and Greenfield.
For over 41 years, we've helped Wisconsin folks create beautiful, affordable, and durable bathrooms.
You'll get our expert guidance and long-lasting quality products.
And nobody beats our prices.
I did it myself at Do-It-Yourself.
I'm Fred Schwertfeger, president at Horicon Bank. We've been a family and employee-owned full-service community bank for over 125 years. Speaking of family, today I'm here with Horicon Bank's financial analyst and my sister, Alex Solanke, to talk about our noteworthy community involvement.
When it comes to connecting with our communities, Horicon Bank walks the walk. With 24 locations in 18 communities across Wisconsin, that's a lot of investment. From Appleton to Horicon to New Berlin, we can be found supporting fundraisers, art, nature, financial literacy, you name it.
Here in the Milwaukee area, we're involved with nonprofit organizations like WIBIC and the Milwaukee Parks Foundation. Visit the Milwaukee County Zoo's Flamingo Patio and you'll see Horicon Bank banners flying high as the proud sponsor.
Our vision is together doing good, and we are excited to be here doing good for our customers, employees, and communities. Fly higher with Horicon Bank, the natural choice. Stop by or learn more at horiconbank.com. Member FDIC.
Family Dentistry, Cosmetic Whitening, Ross Dental Straight Smiles, and Full Sedation Dentistry for anxious patients needing substantial restoration. Our mission? Your comfort, health, and confidence.
Smile like you just don't care.
Because you don't. RossDentalWI.com.
If you're someone who's experiencing shoulders, spine, musculoskeletal pain, and a total joint replacement might be in your future, think Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Their physicians specialize
auction platform and MLS would have earned all 5 Wisconsin area home sellers more money, a lot more money. Selling a fixer-upper, a duplex, a condo, a $400,000 home, or a multi-million-dollar home. When buyers bid, sellers win. In fact, when buyers bid, buyers win too. Heck, everybody wins at Redefined Realty and EasyHomeBidder.com. Buyers win, sellers win. Obvious, but revolutionary. When buyers win, sellers win. It's real estate for winners. RedefinedRealty.com.
For superior carpet cleaning, hire a company with over 75 years of experience that will get the job done right the first time. Always clean, always on time. Edelman.
Edelman Carpet, Furniture, and Drapery Cleaning.
It's Edelman again. Edelman.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast, local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder.
I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both.
Get 2 windows free with every 2 you buy. Pay no interest for 2 full years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90NATION.
Have you ever wondered if your pet is lying to you?
Why is my cat not here? And I go in and she's eating my lunch.
Or if hypnotism is real?
You will use the suggestion to enhance your control.
Or what's inside a black hole?
Black holes could be a consequence of the way we understand the universe.
Well, we have answers for you in the new podcast, Science Stuff. Join me, Jorge Cham, as we answer questions about animals, space, our brains, and our bodies. Listen to Science Stuff on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart Radio app, search Science Stuff, and listen now.
40 years ago, being informed was about reading the newspaper and watching the nightly news. Now, with information coming at you at the speed of light, being truly informed is a complex proposition, a more comprehensive process. At WISN, our show hosts frame stories, issues, and topics with both facts and unique analysis, and that leaves you with a richer understanding of the world around you. It's the perfect blend of information and insight. Stay informed all day, every day on WISN.
The Dropkick Murphys, their version of Amazing Grace, one of the most beautiful songs ever written, an ode to the power of salvation through God. Basically the exact antithesis of the song sung by the transgender punk singer Laura Jane Grace at a Bernie Sanders rally, actually a couple of them over the weekend. Does your God have a big, fat bleep? Now, he wasn't talking about this per se, but Van Jones, who I refer to as the one honest Democrat left, was on CNN today and asked about the state of his party. And one of the big reasons he believes his party is a mess is because of stuff like, does your God have a big fat bleep?
Look, man, we're screwed. I mean, we don't know. No, Democrats don't know what to do. This is a nightmare. Somebody like Donald Trump, we thought we'd at least have Hakeem Jeffries in the speaker's chair to hold him back if we didn't have Kamala in there to do the right thing. Listen, the Democratic Party is going through a massive set of internal crises. You have a party that got trapped 2 ways. One, defending a broken status quo that nobody likes because they thought that Donald Trump was going to make it worse. But when you're defending the status quo, you're going to lose. And then offending most people in the country, calling everybody sexist and racist and transphobic and every other name, and then saying, please follow us. That's not a good strategy, folks. Defending a broken status quo and offending most of the country turns out is not as popular as my party thought it was going to be.
Yeah, who would have guessed? So if you don't like, does your God have a big fat bleep, it's probably because you're transphobic. That is, honest to goodness, a mainstream thought process in the American left. And then they wonder why normies, normal people, i.e. you and me, gravitate towards Donald Trump and the Republicans. Brian in Muskego up next on the Dan O'Donnell Show. How you doing, Brian?
Doing great, Dan.
What's up, my friend?
First off, I got to apologize to your buddy Billy Boy there. Apparently, he didn't get his DNC talking point note card because 17 hours ago, Associated Press, 5 hours ago, NPR, 2 or 3 hours ago, ABC ran a story with Bernie Sanders is the leadership of the Trump resistance.
No, they did not. I will admit I did not see those. He's referring to our caller, Bill from Oconomowoc. And those who didn't listen to me in the morning, Bill was a long-time liberal caller. He's actually a very, very nice guy. Just misguided. And you would have thought I am actually disappointed after years of listening to me. I haven't been able to turn him yet. I feel like it's coming, though. So Bernie is the leader of the Trump resistance. Yes, he absolutely.
Sorry, I had to bring the receipts, Dan.
Hey, Brian, you know on this program, that's how we roll. I'm actually a little embarrassed that I didn't see those articles. Articles I did see, however, from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Now, you would think someone, I'm not even going to call that singing, but sort of scream singing, "Does your God have a big fat bleep?" would have warranted a mention if it wasn't the outright lead of the story. Here's the Journal-Sentinel. Thousands of people packed the DeSimone Arena of the University of Wisconsin Parkside campus on Friday night to listen to Senator Bernie Sanders deride the influence of multi-millionaire and billionaire donors in politics. Here's Wisconsin Public Radio's story on the rally. It wasn't a campaign rally or an election pit stop, but once again, Wisconsinites packed an arena to see a politician speak Friday night. It was Bernie Sanders, who was in Kenosha as part of his national Fighting Oligarchy tour. Around 3,500 people came to see the Vermont senator and former Democratic presidential primary candidate. No mention whatsoever. Now, one of two things. One, nobody thought that this was a newsworthy event, that you've got some idiot screaming, "Does your God have a big fat bleep?" Or they intentionally ignored it because they know how damaging it is for this sort of nonsense to be associated with, as our caller noted very effectively, Brian, I might add, that the leader of the Democratic Party is touring with a transgender singer whose biggest song is basically a big bleep you to God. Now, you might say, well, Dan, what relevance does this have? Do you remember the Trump New York rally? Does the name Kill Tony ring a bell at all? The comedian who several hours before Trump was even at Madison Square Garden told an offensive joke about Puerto Ricans that I don't even remember what it is he said exactly. We were told this was going to sink Trump in Pennsylvania because there are so many Puerto Ricans. How dare... There was none of that. No associating Bernie Sanders or Susan Crawford or any other Democrat with the "Does your God have a big fat bleep" song. So weird how that works. Up next, we name the unhinged liberal of the day.
From the Lynch GM Superstore in Burlington Total Traffic Center.
Northbound 43 taking 20 up to Brown Deer. Southbound 15 with delays starting at King Drive. 94 westbound slow to Mitchell Boulevard. 13 to Moreland. Eastbound just over 10. Slow 76 to 35th. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code radio for an extra 5% off.
The Census Bureau says more than 12,000 Americans turn 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. Some Annex clients retire early. Some keep working because they love it. You know why? Because they've got custom plans built by fee-only fiduciaries. They identified their wants and needs, and we went to work. We want to do the same for you. Annex does financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Abby,
window.
Is your bathroom stuck in the 90s? Sick of looking at that pink and brass? Then it's time for an upgrade. Abby Home can customize a new tub or shower conversion just for you. If you like the look of tile, but don't want the maintenance and issues that come with it, we're your perfect fit. We pull all the permits, take it down to the studs, and get you a whole new look in 2 days. Go to myabbyhome.com to learn more. Right now, get 0% interest for 24 months and get 20% off your project. If somebody asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl.
Grandview Buys Homes. Let us help you sell your loved one's home. We'll buy your home completely as is. Get a fair cash offer in 48 hours and close on the day you choose. Take only the belongings you want and leave the stress and the mess to us. GrandviewHomes.com.
Joseph, your business coach and owner of the EWH University for Small Business. Your business struggling closing sales? Tune in to WISN Sundays at 11 a.m. for tips to grow your business successfully. To learn more, visit EWHUniversity.com.
Jay Weber here saying spring is here March 20th. It's near. And Comer & Cross is offering $750 off of their already low price on their premium garage floor process so that you can have it done just in time for spring. If your floor is all cracked and stained and pitted, or it's ugly and flaking because that epoxy job didn't hold up, this is the perfect time to call Comer & Cross and get a quote on a gleaming permanent solution. Their number is 262-788-6430. Comer & Cross coating is the gold standard for garage and basement flooring and will immediately transform the space. This isn't an epoxy job. Their special process involves 6 steps, and they guarantee it will never chip, crack, yellow, or show tire lift. Best of all, it can be done in a single day after Comer & Cross techs move all of the stuff out of your garage for you first. Yeah, they even do that. And all of the work is done by certified employees, special trained in the process. It is done right. $750 off right now of an already low price. Call 262-788-6430, 788-6430, or go to comercross.com.
I'm Art Flater of Central Office Systems. Any business can be brought to its knees by thieves and IT hackers.
Chris Rozecki here. The IT guy you've known since high school doesn't have the resources to protect your organization.
Central Office Systems is the small business IT company that understands cyber with resources to back up your network.
Does your team work outside the hours of 8 to 5? Does your IT company do the same without nickel and diming you? Central Office Systems. No nickeling, no diming.
You hear those injured ads? Cameras with good resolution working properly cut down on injuries. Cameras deter thieves. Cameras deter scammers. Cameras that work.
With Central Office Systems Managed Network Support, a qualified technician grateful for the opportunity to solve your issue answers the phone within 1 minute.
Camera systems, network security, network support.
Have insurance? Will that satisfy your customers while your company's crucial business functions are zero for a week or 2? Real Insurance is utilizing an IT service provider who secures your computers from ever going down.
CentralOfficeSystems.com.
1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men experience domestic or sexual violence in their lifetime. But you can help make a difference. Join the No More Week Challenge, a virtual walk-run to raise awareness and funds to support survivors of abuse. You can complete it anywhere, anytime this March. Whether it's 1 mile or 20, every step you take will help more survivors get access to life-saving resources like counseling, legal aid, and other support services. Sign up today at nomore.org/challenge. Together, let's go the distance for survivors.
Opinion, emotion, passion. This is News Talk 1130 WISN, offering one of the strongest lineups of talk show hosts in the history of local radio. This is Wisconsin's most listened to radio station. News Talk 1130 WISN.
It is our tribute to Celtic punk all week long in the run-up to St. Patrick's Day here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. Top of the afternoon to you. Time now to name the unhinged liberal of the day.
Make me crazy.
Trump is Hitler.
We are in pre-Nazi Germany. Make me crazy.
All white people are racist.
Does that make me crazy?
Trump is dangerous because he's evil.
America is over.
Come on, who else is it going to be? No, I'm not going to play this song again. The unhinged liberal is Laura Jane Grace, whose performance of Does Your God Have a... Yeah, you know the rest. At the Bernie rally, apparently didn't even make headlines in Wisconsin, but it is a national scandal. We'll be right back.
Listen to Benjamin Yount, weekday mornings 9 to 11 on News Talk 1130 WISN Milwaukee. And make WISN the #1 preset on your car radio and on the new iHeart app. Free never sounded so good.
Good afternoon, I'm Dave Michaels. Today, Governor Evers said he wants to borrow taxpayer money to help pay for the $4 billion plan to upgrade state buildings across Wisconsin. About $1.6 billion of that money would go to the University of Wisconsin system. Today, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. met with food industry leaders.
We do know that RFK has been clear that U.S. food companies need to simplify the ingredients of processed foods to get more on par with countries like Canada and the European countries. And he says that they need to be more transparent about what is going into those processed foods.
And it wasn't just you today. X, or Twitter if you prefer, experienced multiple outages today. Elon Musk said it suffered a massive cyber attack. The 4 o'clock business report brought to you by the Good Feet store. The Dow down today 890 points. The NASDAQ dropped 736 while the S&P fell 159. Checking the Holiday Automotive of Fond du Lac Sports Scoreboard, Marquette basketball begins its Big East tournament run Thursday afternoon. They'll play Xavier at Madison Square Garden. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, WISN News Center, I'm Dave Michaels on Wisconsin's most listened to radio station, News Talk 1130 WISN.
Here's the latest forecast presented by AdventKnows.com from the Fox 6 weather experts.
Sunny, windy, and warm today with temperatures in the middle 60s this afternoon, nearing the record high. We drop into the upper 30s tonight, then stay in the low 40s lakeside Tuesday thanks to a lake breeze. It'll be slightly warmer inland. I'm Fox 6 meteorologist Stephanie Barrichello.
This report is sponsored by Hubie and Abraham. Voted best. Rated best. Hubie.com.
Injured? Do you want the best? Remember the name Hubie and Abraham. Everyone I know told me they're the best. I would give them a lot of stars.
More than a 5-star rating.
Call Hubie and Abraham. 800-800-5678. Or go to Hubie.com right now.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected! Also, you forgot to renew your website domain and now you're in a bidding war!
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room and now everything smells weird!
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Heroes like Austin Reese have paid a high price for our freedom. Austin served 3 deployments to Iraq. He spent 13 years with the Navy Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit and became a military freefall instructor. But in what was thought to be a routine jump, something went terribly wrong. Austin was left paralyzed. Tunnel to Towers built Austin a specially adapted smart home. Help heroes. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
Hey, Dan O'Donnell for Mander Collision and Glass, now with 7 locations to serve you across the greater Milwaukee area. Start your repair right now at mandercollision.com. Mander truly is the best decision after a collision.
Tune in every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. as Ellen Becker Investment Group highlights local people and organizations who are using their time and their talents to give back to make a difference in our community. Milwaukee's philanthropic community. Visit ellenbecker.com to learn more.
In almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it is a one and done. Because we don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Jake suffered with carpal tunnel syndrome.
Tingling, numbness in my hands and fingers, not sleeping well at night, tossing and turning, trying to manage with pain pills and stretching, and it just wasn't helping.
He didn't want the traditional invasive carpal tunnel surgery.
I had seen people with bandages and scars and clubs for hands. I just don't have time to be incapable of doing things for 6 to 8 to 10 weeks.
Then he learned about the Ovation Hand Institute and the Ovation Technique, an ultra minimally invasive procedure done in the office.
I wanted to get it looked at sooner than later. So I had the virtual consult. It was very thorough as far as like I was sitting in a doctor's office. I was booked for the procedure 2 weeks later, had my right hand done. Very quick procedure. It was really great. That very night when I went home, it was the first time in probably 3 months my hand did not wake me up.
Book an appointment with the Ovation Hand Institute and find out if you're a candidate for the Ovation Technique.
Probably the most surprising thing was how quickly I was able to do things again. I'm cooking dinner, I'm doing yard work and all that kind of stuff. the next day.
Visit ovationhand.com. Ovationhand.com.
Baseball is back. All Brewers games are on sale now. Score a seat to opening day. All new theme nights and games with can't miss giveaways now. Gear up for a huge season. The crew is back. Get your seats now at brewers.com/ticket finder.
Hey, Pete here with USA Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Inflation is high, so to combat it, I'm offering AC tune-ups at $99.99 plus tax. That's right, an AC tune-up for under $100. Call our office to get on the list. Mention this ad and get VIP pricing on all service calls, plus I'll waive a $95 trip charge. Offer ends April 1st. So call the office at 262-662-2626 and remember, USA, USA, USA Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. May God bless your day and like us on Facebook.
Your home cleaning friend, it's Edelman again. Edelman.
Fast and accurate, fair and balanced. Milwaukee's home for Fox News Radio. News Talk 1130 WISN.
I refrained from making this joke for an entire hour, but I can keep silent no longer. So a transgender woman sang a song titled, "Does Your God Have a Big Fat Bleep?" Bleep is exactly what you would think it is. I mean, does she have a big fat bleep? I'm just asking questions. 414-799-1130. Again, please direct all complaints to Jerry Bott at iHeartMedia.com. Watch his email address blow up 4:08 p.m. on a Monday afternoon. Wow, what the hell did O'Donnell do now? Folks, I said I was intentionally going to offend you. You need to know how insane the modern left is. 1-800-838-9476. Email me directly, DOD@iHeartMedia.com, at Dan O'Donnell Show on X, Facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show as well. We are streaming live on X, Facebook, and our YouTube channel. Just search for The Dan O'Donnell Show. Each and every week here on the program, we help you know the difference between financial advisors, help you know what's going on in the markets. We were running a little late at the end of the last hour, so we decided to punt to this hour. And I want to take a little bit more time with our good friend Dave Spano, who's the CEO of Annex Wealth Management, because all the major indices were down significantly. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 2%, the NASDAQ down 4%. This was a bloodbath on the NASDAQ, which of course is very tech heavy. And this is due in large part to the threat of Trump tariffs, sure, but also both Apple and Microsoft making indications that maybe the AI revolution isn't going to be the big marketplace boon that a lot of people think that it's going to be. S&P 500, by the way, down 2.7% to 5,600. But obviously, the big story today, Dave, was on the NASDAQ. And, no matter how you slice it, Wall Street does not like the Trump tariffs.
Yeah, no, they don't. And of course, there's a lot that goes into it. That Bloomberg article that you were talking about, suggesting that Apple is going to slow down the AI revolution. It's the first inning. We're in the first inning of this AI revolution, number one. Number two, you certainly can understand tariffs on, tariffs off, tariffs with exemptions. Moving policy has certainly caused discontent. And think about it this way: if you're in a boardroom and you're like, are we going to have tariffs? Are we not going to have tariffs? Should we hire? Should we have capital expenditures? We're unsure about all of those things, and this uncertainty also bleeds, Dan, into the Federal Reserve, because now the Fed's saying we're going to take a wait and see. So you've got trade policy, you have monetary policy, and now you have Fed policy talking about what should we do going forward, and it's on a wait and see. And so maybe all of this stuff, we get clarity. I mean, this whole thing that just happened in Canada over the weekend, even though they said that they can still beat the U.S. in hockey, there is probably barely, but they did. And he said, we're going to drop the gloves, as he said. But there's a deal to be made that this guy...
We still won the gold in curling, I'll remind them.
Okay. But, they, of course, he was a hockey player. He went to Harvard. Yeah. He's a Bank of England guy. He's a Bank of Canada guy. He's a Goldman Sachs guy. He'll make a deal with Howard Lutnick. Yeah. And so we get that. We get the USMCA back on track. I can see... even all of this bear stuff is happening right now, and we're in a correction territory in the NASDAQ now. We're not that surprised for a number of reasons. One is because earnings season is over. That's when all of this outside influence happens. And now you have to look into April. And what happens in April? You get earnings season back. You get the Fed talking about perhaps what they're going to do. We have a lot of good news perhaps coming down the road. And profitability is going to be there. So there is discontent right now and in a correction, but that does not mean that you run and hide.
No, and to be frank, I see more bullish upside potentially, because what have we been hearing for, 3 years now? The Fed is going to cut interest rates significantly, but it's going to need some form of market pullback, some form of pullback in hiring. And obviously that's never good. And President Trump actually came out and said, look, you can't watch the market right now. It's going to have fluctuations. It's going to have
fluctuations. And Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary, said we're going to have a bit of a detox, right? Yeah. So all of this is happening. But then he did come out and say that fiscal and monetary policy will provide a positive supply shock. What does that mean? That means that oil is going to come down. Crude is now in the 60s. You've got perhaps deregulation that's going to come. You've got tax extensions likely to come, and you have lower interest rates. So all of this, Dan, can clearly lead into a positive environment later down the road. And by the way, let me point this out. We saw the Atlanta Fed forecast negative GDP for the first quarter. Well, of course, that's not great, even though the Biden folks changed the definition. It's widely accepted 2 back-to-back quarters of negative GDP is a recession. So there's a lot of recession talk. But when you look at that GDP report, what we saw is a lot of companies ran out and bought things, imported things into the United States. That is a cause for negative GDP. Right. Well, guess what happens? After it sits there and it comes into the country, it becomes either inventory or they sell it, and then it becomes positive GDP. So you may get a revision in Q2 or perhaps even Q3 that all of this stuff comes to fruition. So I would say just wait and see. Obviously, have diversification, make sure that you have an emergency fund, make sure that you review your investments and that you're working with a fee-only fiduciary.
In other words, make sure you know what you own, why you own it, how much you're paying for it, and you can find out all of that. Best thing to do, head to annexwealth.com for a free portfolio review. I am working with a great analyst who I owe a phone call to, by the way. Well,
should I tell?
Mike Kirk over at Annex. I feel terrible.
You and I could have had our meeting last night.
I know. Dave was very kind. He took my son Chris and I to the Bucks game yesterday. Do you realize this guy's tickets are so close? We could read Damian Lillard's tattoos from where we were sitting. Thank you very much.
And the referees could hear you for what you were saying.
For me, I was shockingly very quiet. It was Spano who was yelling at the referees. Apparently, on the basketball court, where exactly
Belling sits across the aisle, and he usually does that.
Yes, he's usually yelling. Wait, you were in his seats. Paul says he was in Belling's seats on Saturday. And he was screaming all night at the referees. Yeah, it was Spano. It was your buddy behind us. Chris and I were very polite. Chris notes that I'm usually screaming at referees when I'm coaching his games.
That's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be above that. My referee friends are going to be not happy with
I actually don't. I'm usually because we're told for our soccer club that I coach for, and half the time I have to end up refereeing because there's such a massive referee shortage. I always make sure to, thank them, say, hey, thank you guys for showing. If it's a kid, well, I don't want to be that guy, but if it's a kid, I'll usually throw them a couple of extra bucks and say, hey, have a soda on me after the game. If they don't give me good calls, I surreptitiously take a buck or two away from them. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it was a wonderful time, Dave. Definitely do like it. And I don't want to do too much of our socializing and personal business on the air. Our favorite golf courses are opening up this week. So let's go out and swing the sticks, shall we?
Yes, sir.
All right, he is Dave Spano. Find him at annexwealth.com. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I think that was the second Bucks game I was at. They got smoked by Cleveland. And the reality is this is just not a team that is going far in the play. You could just tell Cleveland was more athletic. They didn't miss. They moved the ball way better than the Bucks did. The Bucks just their offense looks static. Defensively, they don't get over on the switch off the pick and roll quick enough. Outside of Giannis and Dame, they really don't have that third scoring option. They have a tendency to miss a lot of easy shots. They don't hit the three at a high percentage. And the reality is the NBA today is if you hit something like the stats nerds did this in detail. If you hit like 38% of your threes and you hold your opponent to under 35%, ignoring every other stat, you will win like 90% of games. There's some magic percentage that every team now they're trying to get to. It's all about shooting the three ball. And last night's game was entertaining because it was back and forth, boom, boom, boom. But when teams aren't hitting, boy, that can be painful basketball. Very few drives to the basket. It's all just swinging the ball around, trying to find the open man, driving halfway, and then just waiting for the defense to collapse and just kicking it out for a three. That's all the game has turned into. In any event, the far bigger news, other than the Bucks not being particularly good, is the fact that Aaron Rodgers is totally going to the Minnesota Vikings. I'm calling it right now. Well, you know what? Let's save that for the 5 o'clock hour. There are two landing spots for Rodgers. Big moves today involving one of the Packers' chief rivals. They're going to need a new quarterback, and with their first-round rookie from last year coming off of torn ACL surgery, Rodgers makes a whole lot of sense, and also a former Bear has a new destination, meaning that Rodgers could also be headed to Pittsburgh. But no, the real big news today is the way that the markets are responding. And a lot of this is being pinned on the Trump tariffs. And that is a big part of it. Make no mistake, folks. Tariffs do mean higher prices. Tariffs do mean that an already stretched American consumer is likely to be stretched even more. And for businesses that rely on imports, that rely on Chinese imports in particular, it's going to be a painful period. That said, the market sell-off was not due in 100% part to the tariffs. A couple of weeks ago, maybe last week, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella said he doesn't believe that AI is the massive cash cow. It's revolutionary technology, but in the short term, he doesn't see as big of a play in as many different fields as people who are more bullish on the way AI is just going to revolutionize the American marketplace. And then you had Apple essentially say the same thing. Well, that tanked the NASDAQ because the NASDAQ is essentially just the Magnificent Seven. There have been 7 stocks that throughout the Biden era have buoyed much of the stock market. The FANG stocks plus a couple of others. NVIDIA was a big one, Tesla, another big one. And they represent such a massive percentage of the Dow's overall and the NASDAQ's overall performance that it's really been masking a lot of systemic weakness. Look, this wasn't an economy where all businesses, all ships were not risen by this tide. There were some big winners, and this was sort of a hallmark of liberal economies. And folks, before you start blaming President Trump, he has been in office for a grand total of about 7 weeks. We're still dealing with the after effects of 4 years of economic mismanagement. We're still dealing with the sky-high interest rates that were a necessary offshoot to try to get inflation that topped out at about 9% year over year, and prices that just haven't gone down. The average American family of 4 is now paying something like $21,000 to $22,000 more per year to keep up with the exact same lifestyle that they had, to buy the exact same goods, the exact same services that they did before Biden became president. That's unsustainable in the extreme. And a big reason for this, a big reason for the massive price increases is because you had tons of government spending. Government dropped billions and billions and billions of dollars on the economy at the exact wrong time, when the supply chain was still weak in 2021 and 2022, as people were still getting back into the supply chain. They were still getting back into those jobs because essentially Democrats demanded that the entire world shut down for a period of time, almost exactly 5 years ago. It's today the 10th. Yeah, 5 years ago tomorrow, it was the day everything changed with COVID. It was the day the NBA shut down. You might remember that. It was Wednesday, March 11th. The NBA shut down. There were fans in the arena who were told to go home. Tom Hanks announced that he had COVID-19 and people were panicked that he was going to die. It was the day everything changed. We will do something tomorrow to mark that occasion because it was a significant day in global events, rather obviously, 5 years ago tomorrow, March 11th. But Democrats insisted that there be as many disruptions as possible for as long as possible. And then they ensured by giving people stimulus checks when they weren't needed, giving them enhanced unemployment benefits to essentially incentivize them staying out of the workforce. There was such a supply crunch that people couldn't get the goods that they had a whole lot of money thanks to those stimulus paychecks to pay for. It was a mess. It continues to be a mess. And Trump was basically saying today there's going to be some short-term pain. But remember, Trump has always used tariffs in a way that no other American president before has. And that's to influence behavior outside of the realm of economics. He uses economic tools, i.e. the tariff, to achieve non-economic ends. He is also very old school in his thinking that we should be far less reliant on an income tax, hence his orders ending taxes on tips and so forth. And he believes that, like in the pre-income tax era of the United States, it got almost all of its revenue from tariffs on other countries. So buckle up. Democrats are already crowing about a coming recession. It's not nearly that bad, but today was a very bad day on Wall Street.
From the Lynch Chevrolet of Kenosha Total Traffic Center.
A little over 10 minutes southbound 4145 from Good Hope to the Zoo. Delays breaking after Capitol. 43 northbound just over 20 up to Brown Deer. Solid from the Marquette to Keefe. Got a stall off to the right at North Ave. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest Total Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Our iHeartRadio Music Awards are coming back Monday, March 17th on Fox.
Celebrating the music and artists you've loved on iHeartRadio over the past year and giving you an exclusive first look at the biggest new songs coming in the summer of 25.
Bad Bunny, Billie Eilish,
Glorilla, Gracie Abrams,
Kenny Chesney,
Money Long,
Nelly.
Your host, LL Cool J.
Watch live on Fox Monday, March 17th, starting at 7 p.m.
And listen on iHeartRadio stations across America and the free iHeart app.
We asked people why they sold their homes to Grandview Homes instead of using a real estate agent.
We needed to sell Mom's home quickly and with a company we could rely on.
No showings, no closing costs, no staging, no real estate agent fees, no added stress.
Whether you have a hard-to-sell home, want a stress-free sale, or simply need to sell your home fast, Grandview Homes is the name you know and the name you can trust. Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
The Census Bureau says more than 12,000 Americans turn 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. Some Annex clients retire early. Some keep working because they love it. You know why? Because they've got custom plans built by fee-only fiduciaries. They identified their wants and needs, and we went to work. We want to do the same for you. Annex does financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button.
I'm Kelly Lammert with Clean Living Environments. Clean Living Environments' superior agitation, high-powered suction gets more filth out of your furnace ducts. Crud doesn't unstick from surfaces. It became glued in place over years of humid, then dry, then humid airflow. Vacuum cleaners agitate. Suction alone doesn't get carpet clean. Next, Clean Living Environments gets more wasted air out of ducts with AeroSeal duct sealing. Loosely fit together tin pipes snakes from the furnace through walls to vents. Loosely boxed off stud spaces and right angle turns return unheated or cooled air to furnaces. Dank basement air is sucked into gaps and distributed throughout the house, while tonnage of heated or cooled air escapes before being distributed throughout the home, resulting in more dust, musty smells, not enough heated or cooled air to parts of the house, and larger energy bills. Clean Living Environments duct sealing reduces air duct leakage 70 to 99%, reducing gas consumption while increasing whole home comfort and cleanliness. Get more out of your ducts. CleanLivingEnvironments.com. That's CleanLivingEnvironments.com.
Hi, I'm Willa Voss. I'm 8 years old. Mom and Dad own Cut and Go Tree Service. Yes, they did name me after a tree. Our family loves this country and the freedom it provides. Every morning, I look forward to starting the school day with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please say it along with me, even if you just say it in your mind. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. American patriots will enjoy a 5% discount for flying the American flag and mentioning this commercial when the Cut and Go remote control, automobile mounted, articulated crane, grapple saw operators are putting your dead trees on the ground or removing large branches that grew over something important. An all-American Tons of Trees movement. CutandGoTrees.com. That's CutandGoTrees.com.
Save more green this St. Patrick's Day at Meijer. Enjoy Meijer corned beef, just $3.99 a pound. Red potatoes are $3.99 for a 5-pound bag. Enjoy an ice-cold Coca-Cola or Pepsi product. 12 packs are now on sale. Buy 2, get 1 free. Plus deposit where applicable. And Loft House decorated sugar cookies are only $3.99. We're working hard to bring more goodness to your St. Patrick's Day celebration at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
For more information about contests on News Talk 1130 WISN, go to newstalk1130.com/rules. All programs on News Talk 1130 WISN are broadcast through the Annex Wealth Management Studios. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Smart speakers put WISN's programs as close as the sound of your voice. Tell Alexa, Google Home, or Siri on HomePod to play 1130 WISN on iHeartRadio and listen to Milwaukee's best talk shows.
Off-kilter filter in our St. Patrick's Day bumper music rotation here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. You want to save some money, get out ahead of the impact of those tariffs. The Bid on Milwaukee auction starts at 6 a.m. on Wednesday. Bidonmilwaukee.com, of course, the website. By now you know how it works. Bidding starts at 45% of an item's retail value. That means the potential for savings is 55% to the winning bidder. All you need to do is to register at bidonmilwaukee.com, then make a bid. There is a reserve bid, an opt-in feature where the site will email you if someone else has outbid you on a particular item. Just get signed up if you're not already. Bidonmilwaukee.com. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of items are available. And I can tell you, as someone who just built a new house, if I wasn't prohibited from doing so, I would be putting in a whole bunch of bids on these. Metal roof system. I guess I don't need a roof. I'm looking, though, at that outdoor fireplace and patio package. I need to be able to keep up with my producer and his extensive outdoor kitchen. Did you get that on the bidonmilwaukee.com auction? You hired a contractor. Was it through here? Did you trade an endorsement deal for your outdoor kitchen? You had to pay for it. Did you pay full price? Yeah, he says yes, but I'm not sure I believe him. The one that I'm actually very serious about doing is the Riverboat Twilight, a 2-day Mississippi River cruise for 2 adults. I just think it's cool. Forgive me, I've always thought The Adventures of Huck Finn is the great American novel. It's probably my favorite novel outside of... So when I was first dating my now wife, I wanted to impress her. She asked what my favorite book was. I didn't want to say Huck Finn because it's kind of a kid's book. It's one that everybody reads when they're about 8th grade or so. And my other favorite book, which I actually think might be this past century's great American novel, is technically a comic book. It's called Watchmen. It is a superhero. It's a very dark, gritty. It represents the human condition. Each one of the heroes represents a different philosophy: nihilism, moral absolutism, relativism, etc. It's incredibly brilliant. It's widely considered the greatest comic book ever written, but it's a comic book. So I didn't tell my wife that my 2 favorite books are a kid's book and a comic book. So I said it was The Great Gatsby. So she, being madly in love, as only a teenager can be, went out and read The Great Gatsby. And she said, man, that's boring as hell. How is that Dan's favorite book? Turns out it was a lie. You loved Great Gatsby? You got into it? I mean, it's okay, but it's sort of like, do you know the book that I love? I recognize that it's a good book, but I also am very judgy of anybody who says it's their favorite book, is Catcher in the Rye. Catcher in the Rye is the favorite book for people who love to pretend that they're way smarter than they are. I learned this lesson a long time ago. If your favorite book's a comic book, just say your favorite book's a comic book. I just read a few months ago, about August, September or so, The Devil in the White City, which I thought was just fantastic. It's the history of the Chicago World's Fair in 1893, maybe, and a serial killer by the name of H.H. Holmes, who was operating during that fair. It's just a remarkable history that reads like a historical fiction thriller. Just a wonderful book. But yeah, Catcher in the Rye. It is like every liberal dude who wants to impress chicks at a bar says Catcher in the Rye is their favorite. Tropic of Cancer. Yeah, I never read that. That wasn't one that when I was going to school, I was an English major, so I read all of this stuff. Okay, I took an entire class on Shakespeare's plays, Shakespeare's sonnets, not his plays, his poetry. I read way too much, and I think got sick of reading fiction after doing an English major. So I'm like, I haven't really read much since 20-some years ago. Oh, Catcher in the Rye. Euchre's book, that actually was a caller reminds us. Bob Euchre wrote Catcher in the Rye, W-R-Y. It was his autobiography. When I was a kid, I read that thing cover to cover at least 3 times. It was so good. He is so hilarious in that book. God bless him. I also read the Wayne Gretzky autobiography. I read Dennis Rodman's autobiography, which was surprisingly insightful. In any event, speaking of bars, speaking of interactions with the opposite sex at bars, a Dan O'Donnell Show exclusive. It is a huge controversy online right now. Allegations flying back and forth of sexual harassment, if not assault, and very bad behavior at a bar in West Dallas. You'll hear it only here, coming up next.
Now, here's traffic from Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank. Call the Tri-City Total Traffic Tip Line at 414-944-5111.
A little over 10 minutes southbound 4145 from Good Hope to the Zoo. Delays breaking after Capitol. 43 northbound just over 20 up to Brown Deer. Solid from the Marquette to Keefe. Got a stall off to the right at North Ave. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
When selling a home, do you need to pay the buyer's agent a commission? This is Paul Leby with Lake Country Flat Fee. That's been a popular question recently, and the answer to that is no, you do not. You can choose to offer a commission to the buyer's agent, or that could be negotiated as part of the offer to purchase. When you sell with us, you control what gets paid to any buyer's agent. Our sellers save about 50% versus a traditional 6% broker. To learn more or to schedule a free market analysis, visit our website at lakecountryflatfee.com.
Get ready for patio season with By the Yard's preseason sale, now through March 15. Order now, beat the rush, and save big. For 30 years, they've built maintenance-free furniture that lasts a lifetime, backed by a 35-year warranty and delivered direct to you. By the Yard's preseason sale ends March 15. Shop bytheyard.net or the showroom in Oconomowoc. By the Yard, life is better outdoors.
Life is unpredictable. Estate planning helps your family face the unknown when you are incapacitated or gone. Do you have a will and power of attorney ready? GrieveCivilLaw.com. Plan today, have peace of mind tomorrow.
There are only a handful of carpet cleaning companies in the country who guarantee results, and we're one of them. It's no wonder why we're Wisconsin's most trusted carpet cleaner.
Edelman Carpet Furniture and Drapery Cleaning.
It's Edelman again. Edelman. Blue Mound Express.
This is Rick Vanderboom with Blue Mound Express Moving and Storage, and we'll improve your move.
BlueMoundExpress.com. We will improve your move.
Blue Mound Express Moving and Storage, statewide.
At the Sawmill Restaurant and Pub in Richfield, you'll find amazing food, a wonderful, friendly staff, and an atmosphere that can't be beat. Easy to get to. Take the Holy Hill exit from Highway 41, turn west, and then take the first right at Wolf Road. The Sawmill will be just around the bend on your left.
Let Tri-County Contracting take care of the outside of your home so you don't have to. Worry-free roofing, siding, and windows from Tri-County Contracting. Call us at 262-679-6100 or visit us online at tricountycontractingwi.com.
Jay Weber here saying Manhattan is calling. This August 28th through September 1st, the great folks at Cruise and Tour have planned a WISN Great Escape to New York City for you. Small group travel is a wonderful, stress-free way to take a long weekend. Everything's organized for you, and there's a Cruise and Tour guide right along with you to iron out any problems. On this trip, you'll experience the magic of New York City by making your home base a hotel right in the vibrant heart of Times Square. You'll see all the must-see spots in Manhattan, including the very moving 9/11 Memorial. Delicious meals in Manhattan restaurants, a stroll across the Brooklyn Bridge for amazing views of the city, a guided tour of Little Italy to learn the history of New York's mafia families, an adventure in Greenwich Village. There's a lot packed into 5 days. Round-trip airfare from Chicago is included, along with 6 meals and all taxes, tips for guides and drivers, etc., all included. Interested? See cruise-tour.com for the full itinerary and for pricing, or call 800-383-3131 to reserve your spots. 800-383-3131 for your great escape to Manhattan.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder.
I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both.
Get 2 windows free with every 2 you buy. Pay no interest for 2 full years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90NATION.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
We know you're loving the new preset feature on the new and improved iHeartRadio app.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite new thing.
But did you know that you can make almost anything a preset? Your favorite local station, sure, but your favorite podcast, that amazing playlist you made for free, even iHeart stations you can't get on the radio, like Deep Cuts, The Vinyl Experience, and 70s and 80s Rock Ride.
That's a game changer.
Whatever you choose, it's as easy as a tap to make a preset. Find out what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
We can help you win your bracket contest. Here's a useful tip. Offer to turn in your coworkers' brackets. Kevin, I got yours. I'm heading down there anyway.
Oh, thanks, Bob.
Then, destroy them. If possible, wait till Thursday morning to do it. They won't have time to recover. You bastard. Just a public service message from your home of the best tournament coverage. Milwaukee's home for brackets and stuff. 97.3 The Game.
Cadence to Arms. This, the Dropkick Murphys in the Dan O'Donnell Show. St. Patrick's Day bumper music rotation. You will hear St. Patrick's Day Celtic punk jams from now until Monday the 17th. That, of course, one of the biggest drinking days of the entire year, in which Americans boil my culture down to its chronic alcoholism. Love that. Love it. I actually do, because you know what? I did a Forgotten History episode on this. It is a uniquely American holiday, and the Irish, who are known for having great senses of humor, loved the fact that it was a big drunken party and leprechauns and green and shamrocks. It's all in good fun. It's all, lightly poking fun at Irish culture the day everybody's a little bit Irish because they're drinking green beer and stuff. What didn't seem like a lot of fun was Saturday night at the Drunk Uncle. It is a bar in West Dallas, I guess reasonably popular. Something went down that prompted a woman whose name I am not going to read, nor am I going to read the name of the owner to allow for somewhat protection of privacy, who is mentioned in many of these comments. This is a simmering controversy all around southeast Wisconsin. This woman left a 1-star review of the Drunk Uncle on Saturday night. She wrote, "Just went with some friends. My young mid-20s friend was being fed shots, and the owner kept kissing her and offering her a job. A bartender leaned over the bar and touched my face, asking me to make him a sandwich for International Women's Day. Completely uncomfortable and disrespected, as a young woman in the establishment would never recommend to anyone. About 7 minutes after that review was posted, the drunk uncle responded, and it's in parentheses, owner. You are a fat nerd with no friends. That girl was hot AF for this giant, huge snake. Go home and bleep it, dork. That would be a euphemism for, yeah. That is a real comment. It was a late night post. Yes, Paul. Yes. Now, not only that, someone else who was in the group with this young woman took to a Milwaukee Reddit page to say much the same thing. He said, I've been going to the drunk uncle for a long time. They're apparently well known for playing UFC events. Myself and 2 friends went to the drunk uncle. When my friends and I walked into the bar, the male owner, who was also tending the bar, was extremely drunk. He couldn't stand upright. Unfortunately, in Wisconsin, this is pretty normalized. Actually, Now, I haven't been to bars late at night. I don't think I've ever seen a bartender so drunk they could barely stand. If anything, they can handle their booze pretty well. And, I mean, oh, yeah, no, nobody wants that. Paul says a boss would get rid of him. Well, what happens if the drunk is the boss? Yeah, that would be a problem. I was about 2 White Claws in. Oh, I guess maybe this is a woman. I don't know. I like White Claws. When I noticed his harmless drunkenness turn into perversion. A young lady was standing at the bar ordering a drink from him when he lifted his shirt and showed his chest while talking to her. Then he says to her, "It's your turn now." From afar, I thought these two are maybe friends because she was laughing, but she shot me a look showing she was uncomfortable. She told him, "No, I'm not doing that. I'd just like to order a drink." He then started doing the come hither motion to her and put his hands on her waist to pull her in behind the bar. Once I saw him reach for her, I ran to the bar with 2 friends and tried to order 2 shots and to close out my tab and try to de-escalate the situation. He kept shooing us off and telling her to come behind the bar and to go home and do all manner of sinful things. Now, the following morning at about 11:30 a.m., the owner responded because this post had gone viral. People were sharing the review that the young woman made saying, hey, this looks very inappropriate. It looked as though there was, at the very least, sexual harassment. So the owner on the Facebook page of the drunk uncle tells his side of the story. Good afternoon, everyone. We normally don't post about someone's bad review because drunk people are not in the right state of mind to make the best decisions for their reviews. But this particular one we will. We had a woman walk in last night during the Shamrock Shuffle that was extremely intoxicated, and we refused to serve her. We gave her a water so she had something to drink while playing the quarter pusher machine game. She was so intoxicated, she set the alarm off on it not only once but twice. After that, she was told she couldn't be next to the machine anymore in fear she may break it. At that point, she started to cry, telling us that her boyfriend had broken up with her and that she was kicked out of 2 bars already. We allowed her to stay until her ride was set to leave when she decided to sexually assault one of the bartenders. Not cool. Our response to her bad review is because we will never give anyone who thinks it's okay to sexually assault someone a dignified response. Yes, we have stupid fun, but safety of our patrons and staff will always come first, always. In short, don't take a very intoxicated person's side to what happened over the sober staff and other people in the venue. Our staff did absolutely nothing wrong, and she was the one that did the sexual assault, not us. Enjoy your Sunday, and we will see you for AEW. That's a wrestling promotion this evening. Now, I don't know what happened, but a good way to tell is if there is similar behavior on either side in the past. Now, I went through and looked at some of the other reviews of The Drunk Uncle, ignoring all of the ones that came after the incident, because these are people, liberals do this all the time. It's called review bombing, where they'll just give one-star reviews because they're mad about the political posture of a particular establishment. Somebody's in the news. Right. It works because it brings the average down. So I went back to 2023. There was this review. Owner was very rude. He called me and my mother C words for no reason. He is also very money hungry. I can see why no one was in there. Would not recommend this bar to anyone. I have no idea how this bar is still open for business. The owner then responded to that review, claiming that the women there were acting like C words because they didn't take their drinks back to the bar at closing time. There was another review from 2022 in which another woman alleges that the same guy, the owner of the bar, was inappropriate in his dealings with her. Now, I could not find anything that would suggest. I was looking for anybody who would verify the owner's side of the story and say, look, this woman was so out of control. She was so sloppy. She was sexually assaulting the bartender, which just doesn't sound right. We have someone here on Reddit who is an independent witness and apparently saw all of this go down and say, look, this was very inappropriate. And then apparently there was some sort of confrontation outside. Outside, the owner pulls out his phone, starts recording us, and accuses us of lying and, quote, being woke. From there, the husband and wife left, and the owner tried charging us and being violent to us. Thankfully for him, a friend of his that has clearly seen this behavior before was there to hold him back. At the end, he yelled to us, leave a review, don't care, I've had this bar for 11 years, no one will take it from me. I bring this up only because there are very serious allegations on both sides flying back and forth. And look, this is, if it were up to me, look, we've all been there. We've had a little too much to drink. For goodness sakes, I was at the Milwaukee Museum on Saturday. First time having any alcohol at all since New Year's Eve. I went with some friends to the Food and Froth event. Wonderful event at the museum. Absolutely wonderful event. As you know, I have had my issues with museum management. By the way, they are very open about the fact that, and if I have time, I'll discuss this in greater depth, they're still $40 million short of the donor money that they're going to need to open up the new museum. They overcharged for, we usually get the VIP access for Food and Froth. They upped the price on that. They upped the price on regular tickets. And I'm convinced, because it's one of their big fundraisers of the year, they're desperately trying to get money for the new museum that they don't have. So I was, having some fun. Oh boy, did I pay for it. You take a long time off of drinking. Sunday morning, stretching into Sunday afternoon was rough. I don't think I have ever been so rough drunk that I would be kissing. So could you imagine if I'm oh, sweetie, how would you like to be a talk radio star? I can make it happen. Some woman in her mid-20s. What the hell is talk radio? What are you talking about, you creep? You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show. We'll be right back after this.
From the place you want to go, Lynch McGuanago Traffic Center.
Westbound 94 jam from 16th to Mitchell Boulevard out to Moreland, taking 16 minutes. Southbound 4325 from Brown Deer to the Marquette. Also got a crash block in the right lane, 145 northbound at 43. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Looking for affordable blinds, shades, or shutters for your home? Don't hire an expensive pro. Check out Blindster.com, where we offer custom-made window coverings at guaranteed low prices with a team of pros ready to help you every step of the way. Blindster.com.
The ACLU is suing to stop deportations.
Immigrant rights groups are suing to stop President Trump's order to close the U.S.-Mexico border.
To win the legal fight against the illegal alien invasion, Republicans must vote early in the April 1st Wisconsin Supreme Court election.
So if you want to save America, register, get an absentee or mail-in ballot, vote early.
Vote for conservative Brad Schimmel for Wisconsin Supreme Court. Apply for your absentee ballot online. Go to myvote.wi.gov to vote absentee by mail.
You must get your ballot in. Got to make it too big to rig.
When Republicans vote, Wisconsin wins. Go to myvote.wi.gov and vote early for Brad Schimmel and stop the illegal alien invasion. America's PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidate's agent or committee.
Transition matured savings bonds, certificates of deposit, and whole life insurance into assets protected from creditors, even Medicaid drawdown. With Refi Trust, zero fees, zero taxes. Refi Trust takes just minutes. We do all the work. Refi Trust, your assets, your choice. RefiTrust.com.
Put a smile on their face at a family place. Elmbrook Family Dental.
This is Dr. Brandon Brunner.
And Dr. Eric Teibel from Elmbrook Family Dental.
Okay, Eric, there are a lot of things that set us apart. What do you want to start with?
I'd say Invisalign.
Yeah, I mean, is there anyone offering Invisalign for less?
No. In fact, we just saw a patient quoted about $3,000 more for the same treatment. I'm really confident that our Invisalign price is the lowest in southeastern Wisconsin.
And a lot of older patients who wish they have gotten braces back when they were younger, they're choosing Invisalign.
It works. And the lowest Invisalign price, along with the 5-star review quality of care that we're known for, works for our patients.
Elmbrook Family Dental with 2 locations in Brookfield and now in Wauwatosa.
Put a smile on their face at a family place. Elmbrook Family Dental.
Because a great smile goes a long way.
An auction to sell your house? And it includes a 2.99% full-service MLS listing? Come on. Put simply, the absolute best way to sell your home is a Redefined Realty MLS listing enhanced by the EasyHomeBidder.com auction bidding platform. You get max profits and minimal contingencies. Buyers and sellers both love winning at auction. Traditional real estate agents put houses on MLS, then talk sellers into accepting offers. It's always been done that way. While buyers can still make a traditional offer, auctions powered by EasyHomeBidder.com allow every interested party to compete for your home through MLS and at auction on your terms. Sellers never lose a penny again. Dorothy's Ruby Slippers would not have sold for $28 million without an auction. Similarly, the maximum price of your home will only be achieved at auction. Traditional real estate agents sell ordinary MLS services. Redefine's Mentors of Winning enhance the home selling process combining auction and MLS. RedefinedRealty.com. Buyers win, sellers win. Real estate's future is now. Real estate for winners. RedefinedRealty.com.
I'm defense attorney Tom Grieve. If you drive drunk, you will be pulled over and you will be arrested. You cannot talk your way out of a DUI, but you can keep your mouth shut for your best defense. Call my team of award-winning former state prosecutors. You are only guilty if you are convicted. GrieveLaw.com.
Get ready for the biggest night in podcasting.
The iHeart Podcast Award goes to...
Join us for our 2025 iHeart Podcast Awards, live from Austin, Texas at South by Southwest.
Celebrating the most innovative and influential voices in the podcasting world.
Push boundaries.
Sit down with amazing guests every week.
And engage audiences in new, remarkable ways.
Don't miss our 2025 iHeart Podcast Awards.
Watch on iHeartRadio's YouTube channel and listen right here.
Tonight at 11.
You love her twice as much today as the day you married her, right?
Welcome to Kessler's.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
WISN. Big taxers, big spenders, political cronies, global warming alarmists, charlatans, liars, scam artists, and feeders at the public trough. The threats to your happiness are many, but that's where we can help. News Talk 1130 WISN. Our truth shall keep you free.
I just want to know if that woman ever made the drunk uncle bartender a sandwich for International Women's Day. I know it's disrespectful and totally sexist, but I laughed that made its way into the review. Young lady said she went to this bar in West Allis called the Drunk Uncle, and the owner was quite inebriated and not comporting himself well. He claims that they sexually assaulted a bartender, which, frankly, folks, based on past comments about this establishment, I just have a difficult time believing. I don't know what happened, but I don't think young women sexually assault older dudes all that often. Dan O'Donnell Show, back after the news.
Listen to Clay and Buck, weekdays 11 to 2 on News Talk 1130 WISN Milwaukee. And make WISN the #1 preset on your car radio and on the new iHeart app. Free never sounded so good.
Good afternoon. This is Tom Krieger with your afternoon business report. Major averages fell today as the market sell-off intensified amid growing concerns about the health of the economy. President Trump and his top economic officials acknowledged there could be a detox period for the economy as new administration cuts government spending. Meanwhile, the NASDAQ had its worst daily performance since 2022 as investors continued to sell the bull market's tech leaders. Shares of Tesla fell more than 15%, while Alphabet, Apple, Meta, and Nvidia lost over 4%. At the close, the Dow was down 889, S&P 500 down 155, and the NASDAQ down 727. From the Kowal Investment Group, now Creative Planning, I'm Tom Krieger.
From the Hupy and Abraham Weather Center.
Sunny, windy, and warm today with temperatures in the middle 60s this afternoon, nearing the record high. We drop into the upper 30s tonight, then stay in the low 40s lakeside Tuesday thanks to a lake breeze. It'll be slightly warmer inland. I'm Fox 6 meteorologist Stephanie Barrichello.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do? Like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking. And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
There's a reason people sold to Grandview Homes instead of using a real estate agent.
We needed to sell Mom's home quickly and with a company we could rely on.
No showings, no closing costs, no added stress.
Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
Dan O'Donnell here for Mander Collision and Glass, now with 7 locations to serve you in Waukesha, Milwaukee, Muskego, Brookfield, Heartland, Cedarburg, and their Waukesha Fleet and Specialty location. If you have a business with a multi-vehicle fleet, Mander is the place to go because their team understands you can't have a vehicle out of service for a while, so they work quickly and efficiently to get you back on the road and serving your customers as fast as possible through expedited fleet repairs. Mander has been serving their customers and their community community for well over 20 years, and they know that the key is expert workmanship and fast turnaround times combined with the sort of customer service that you'll only find at a family-owned local business like Mander. Start your repair today at mandercollision.com and find out for yourself why Mander truly is your best decision after a collision.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Many area roofs experience ice damming during our harsh Wisconsin winters. Hi, Greg Bublitz here with Wisconsin Ice Dam Solutions. The severe damage ice damming can cause to your home or business can be prevented by our superior ice dam prevention system. It will keep you and your property safe and problem-free. To stop ice dams for good, call 262-646-3070 and visit noicedams.com. That's noicedams.com.
For NARI award-winning home renovating,
WISN listeners are wise, enlightened, engaged, and have impeccably good taste. Thank you for making us Wisconsin's most listened to radio station. News Talk 1130 WISN.
Kowal Investment Group, now Creative Planning, is a registered investment advisor. Now for your business report from Creative Planning. For informational purposes only, past performance is not indicative of future results.
Good afternoon. This is Tom Krieger with your afternoon business report. Major averages fell today as the market sell-off intensified amid growing concerns about the health of the economy. President Trump and his top economic officials acknowledged there could be a detox period for the economy as new administration cuts government spending. Meanwhile, the NASDAQ had its worst daily performance since 2022 as investors continued to sell the bull market's tech leaders. Shares of Tesla fell more than 15%, while Alphabet, Apple, Meta, and Nvidia lost over 4%. At the close, the Dow was down 889, S&P 500 down 155, and the NASDAQ down 727. From the Kowal Investment Group, now Creative Planning, I'm Tom Krieger.
The story that we covered last is one of the major reasons I don't really drink much anymore. This is why you love live talk, right? Yeah, Paul, we were contacted off the air by a number of principals in that story. Everybody nice, everybody presenting their side of the story. Look, I have no way of telling exactly what happened. I am merely reporting this is what the customer said, this is what the bar said. It's all over social media. If you are in Southeast Wisconsin and you are on Facebook, chances are over the past 24 hours, you have seen some version of this story. I find it hilarious that the bar's name is The Drunk Uncle, and the owner is accused of being a drunk uncle. Now we're hearing it wasn't actually the owner, but one of the employees. I'm like, guys, gals, I'm not getting involved further in this story. Nobody involved here is a public figure. I just think I saw it as my duty reporting on this, trying to get to the best of my ability to the bottom of what's going on. Look, the reality is you deal with drunk people, whether it was the customer who was drunk, whether it was one of the employees who was drunk. You deal with inappropriate behavior. And regardless of what it was that happened, I think this is a good reminder, especially at St. Patrick's Day, one of those days where people make it their mission to just get obliterated drunk, especially young people, especially young women. I'm not making a value judgment here one way or another, and this is not reflective of what did or did not potentially happen at the drunk uncle on Saturday night. But I'm saying, look, if you are a young woman, it can be dangerous out there. It just can. If, moms, dads, you thought you were worried about your little girl when she was 6 or 7. Paul, you can attest, you got 2 daughters. I'm taking a wild guess, as successful as they both are, they didn't spend a whole lot of time in bars. Neither go to bars. I don't know. Yeah. I guess when I was that age, I was working in radio. I worked the very high profile midnight to 6 a.m. shift doing the news on Saturday night. I was a DJ on Saturday morning at 6 a.m. So when I was that age, I really didn't, get obliterated drunk in bars. I actually much preferred house parties, going to people's houses. I don't know. I just always thought, it was also, I've sort of been with the same girl for nearly a quarter century. So it wasn't like I'm going out there to meet chicks, right? I don't know. And also, I'm going to sound like an old man. It's in there. When you go out and you want to dance, like a couple of weeks ago, some friends and I went to, what's it called? 90s 2K Cafe downtown. And it is a bar aimed squarely at older millennials, young Gen Xers. They were playing Braveheart on the screens. So we're in the VIP section. I'm watching Braveheart while sipping a Coke. And my buddy was DJing. And we had a wonderful time, but they're playing 90s, early 2000s mashups, and then they'll play modern songs and go back to, but the theme is 90s and early 2000s. And, it's fun like that. But again, I'm 43 years old. I'm not exactly in prime bar club age. What I am in is prime Lincoln Day dinner age. I was at a Save America rally, Washington County Republican Party. Their chair, Laura Jones, kind enough to invite me. I had a wonderful time, just an absolutely fantastic time on Saturday evening. And yes, I did go right from there down to the museum to go to their fundraiser event. And folks, I saw the future of Republican grassroots get out the vote efforts. I was floored. I'll tell you about it in just a second. First, 414-799-1130 if you'd like to call in or text the show. DOD@iHeartMedia.com is where you can shoot me a news tip. A lot of the stories I will cover that you won't hear anywhere else, and there are a whole lot of them. I get through email. I get through tips from people like you. And yes, a number of people did send me the drunk uncle, the saga of the drunk uncle. It was like a Greek tragedy unfolding on Saturday night. It was an epic tale of woe and sloppy kissing and a nearly broken quarter push machine. I don't know. It went so viral. I could not believe. 3 people emailed it to me. I saw it on 4 different, because as you could imagine, I am part of a lot of these community groups. It's a great place to get news tips. I may or may not have alter egos that I use so people don't know it's me in these groups. Oh, there are tons of Karens. Oh, my goodness, there are so many Karens. So many Karens. And do you know what they love? What they love posting about? Folks, I am on every one of these groups, and I see a lot of these groups because people forward me the posts. They love posting about coyotes. I don't know what it is. If there is a coyote within a country mile of Cedarburg, it will be all over the Cedarburg News, Neighbors, and Watch page. My goodness. Better watch out. Keep those dogs, keep those pups inside. The coyotes are. I get it. I don't have a little frou-frou dog, but if I did, and I hesitate to tell this story because it might implicate somebody. In our community's next door page, there was a picture of some youths at a local store during homecoming week. And they were purchasing a good amount of toilet paper, right? They said, and one of the people on the next door page goes, "Just a heads up, just saw these boys buying a bunch of toilet paper." It was my son and a bunch of his friends. So I show up at a soccer game. No fewer than like 4 other parents are showing me, Dan, did you see the next door app? I'm like, oh my goodness. And because it's homecoming week, they do, the toilet paper is such a, it's not a permanent thing. And I asked, I'm like, buddy, did you, one of his teammates, one of his friends, it's like the junior-senior war, got toilet papered. And I said, did you toilet paper your buddy's house? He goes, oh yeah, totally. And they were very proud of that picture on Nextdoor. So yes, I am aware of the Nextdoor. I get alerted when some of my stories about a given community will be on Nextdoor. And then I love reading the comments. It's like, Dan O'Donnell is such a jackass. Oh, I hate that guy. He's so terrible. And meanwhile, I'm sitting there like, yes. I'm like liking the post as one of my fake Facebook accounts. Like, yeah, screw that guy. He's terrible. And he's ugly too. All right. I could do an entire hour on, concerned citizens groups, homeowners associations. Who is it that famously said hell is other people? They got it right. They got it right. I love people. My entire job is connecting with people. I love human connection. I love talking to people. I love meeting new people. I love meeting people. I also simultaneously hate the entire human race. Is it possible to be racist and sexist against all races and sexes? Sometimes I'm just like, oh my gosh, why are humans this way? We have always had this. Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Paul says we have always had this behavior, but social media brought it to the fore. It's the same thing as insane liberalism, and let's face it, there are some kooks on our side, or at least who are ostensibly on our side as well. Social media gives them a voice that in a way that nothing else ever did. What else were they going to do? Call into the local talk radio station, maybe go on the public access television station at 2 a.m. on a Thursday night and, rant about coyotes for a half hour. Now, just look at the drunk uncle Facebook post. That's something that some woman she left a review. The owner, and this is sort of the thing. Look, I get ticked off, and sometimes I say things and post things I shouldn't. She says, my friend was, the bartender leaned over the bar, touched my face, asking me to make him a sandwich for International Women's Day. Completely uncomfortable, disrespected as a young woman. My friend was being fed shots, kept kissing her, offering her blah, 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 blah. The drunk uncle replies to the post, you are a big fat nerd with no friends. That girl was hot AF for this giant, huge snake. A, who talks like this, who's older than middle school? B, why are you doing that? And then he ends it with, go home and play a solo game, if you catch my drift. All right. He does. He has a right to say it. And look, it's a bar. It's called the Drunk Uncle, for goodness sakes. So I think there's some of this attitude like, you're here to have a fun time. It's the Drunk Uncle. It's like everybody's kind of do you remember that dueling piano bar? Jeez. Okay. Yeah, it's like that, where it's, they would sing songs about women being, promiscuous and stuff. It was like good fun. You go there for your birthday and they'd roast you in song. Yeah, right. It's like the old Ed DeBevics. Remember that? Where the waitresses would be rude to you, and it's sort of like that. I get that. Okay. I get that. It's sort of a persona. It's an edge. It's the thing, but it's like, ooh. And look, you are going to get no bigger foe of overly sensitive Karen types who are offended by everything. But this one, when there are serious allegations involved, is one thing. All right. I promised I was going to get to the future of campaigning and door knocking. I have seen it. The folks at Turning Point Action have a new app that you can download right now that I am convinced, utterly convinced, if used properly, will win Brad Schimmel the state Supreme Court race. You think I'm kidding? It is that good. It is that effective. It needs to be used by everyone, not just people who work for Turning Point, not just members of local Republican parties, everyone. Everyone. It is the Turning Point Action app, and I will give you more details on it in just 1 second. I promise you're going to want to stick around. It's the Dan O'Donnell Show.
From the Lynch Truck Center in Waterford Total Traffic Center.
Southbound 4145 is 20 minutes from Good Hope to the Zoo. Heavy Appleton to Capitol with a crash off to the right. Southbound 43 crash at the Marquette is gone. Still jammed back to Keefe. 20 from Brown Deer. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by True Green.
We're back in the Miller's Yard, who now use True Green.
Their lawn started looking like a fairway, and pro golfers started showing up.
They love playing this lawn.
Get a PGA Tour quality lawn for as little as $1 a day at TrueGreen.com. Exclusions apply. See TrueGreen.com for details.
Our iHeartRadio Music Awards are coming back Monday, March 17th on Fox.
Celebrating the music and artists you've loved on iHeartRadio over the past year and giving you an exclusive first look at the biggest new songs coming in the summer of 25.
Bad Bunny, Billie Eilish,
Glorilla, Gracie Abrams,
Kenny Chesney,
Money Long,
Nelly.
Your host, LL Cool J.
Watch live on Fox Monday, March 17th, starting at 7 p.m.
And listen on iHeartRadio stations across America and the free iHeart app.
Well, that's why you have to check out our website. We're pretty proud of our before and after photos because they show off just how good we really are. I can confidently say that whatever you bring us, we're going to use every bit of magic we have to turn it into a one-of-a-kind work of art. So if you're looking for the finest in furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com. If it's worth restoring, we're going to tell you. If it's not worth the cost of restoring, then we're going to give you an honest answer. You don't stay in the furniture finishing business for nearly 50 years unless you're honest and talented. Luckily, we're both, and that means all of your expectations will be met. So if you want only the finest in furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. We're no job's too small. Serving everywhere. Quality counts.
Celebrate 60 years with Russ Darrow. Don't wait. This month only. Receive a $60 Quick Trip gas gift card with every purchase. Drive away for only $60 down and get 0% APR financing for 60 months or 0 payments for 60 days.
Plus fees offered to qualified buyers. Restrictions apply.
Henry Wadsworth Longfellow famously said, "Into each person's life, some rain must fall." At Ryan Waterproofing, we tend to agree, as long as it's not in your basement. Free estimates, because praying for drought is overrated. Ryan Waterproofing. Call Ryan.com. That's callrion.com.
Fingers come in different sizes.
It's one of the first things you learn as a jeweler.
And a ring can only be sized up or down a little bit.
Which means it's a really good thing to know your ring size.
And it's an even better thing to know their ring size.
This is why we're announcing
the ring size registry at Kessler's.
We're doing it as a public service. It's completely free.
Free. Isn't that a great price?
Here's how it works.
Just drop into any Kessler's Diamonds location and tell one of the owners that you'd like to know your ring size.
Kessler's is an employee-owned company, so whoever greets you at the door is an owner.
They'll determine your ring sizes and add them to our ring size registry.
Then, when someone wants to know your ring size...
Because, maybe they want to surprise you.
All they have to do is call or stop into Kessler's.
Surprises can be fun, don't you think?
We're happy to do this for you, even if you don't buy a ring from us.
But after you take a look around, we think you probably will. Visit KesslersDiamonds.com for a location near you and register your ring sizes today.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected! Also, you forgot to renew your website domain and now you're in a bidding war!
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room and now everything smells weird!
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Heroes like Austin Reese have paid a high price for our freedom. Austin served 3 deployments to Iraq. He spent 13 years with the Navy Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit and became a military freefall instructor. But in what was thought to be a routine jump, something went terribly wrong. Austin was left paralyzed. Tunnel to Towers built Austin a specially adapted smart home. Help heroes. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
All programs on News Talk 1130 WISN are broadcast through the Annex Wealth Management Studios. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. Smart speakers get a whole lot smarter when they're playing News Talk 1130 WISN. Just ask Alexa or Siri to play WISN Radio and bask in the glow of insight and enlightenment.
I think of a place on a faraway coast where friends are so dear and there's reason it's told. A cloudy image of a Middle East land comes down and wrecks my hopeful thoughts.
Sail away to a place that's unknown, taken away from my friends and my home, to a place they call sacred, a place I call hell. I long for that corner I once knew so well.
This is Faraway Coast by the Dropkick Murphys off of their 1998 debut album Do or Die in the Dan O'Donnell Show St. Patrick's Day bumper music rotation. Check it out on Spotify. We have got a special playlist of about 60 songs or so, 50 or 60 St. Patrick songs that you will hear all week long as bumper music. I was turned on to a brand new app. Well, they've been using this app, but the data that has just been loaded in based on votes in the 2024 presidential election is mind-blowing. It is the Turning Point Action app. Download it, use it, and win. What it does is it's a force multiplier. And when I give Lincoln Day dinner speeches, as I did at a Save America rally on Saturday, I'm doing one Thursday in Thiensville. I think I'm doing another one on Saturday in Racine for the Racine County GOP. Unfortunately, I accidentally double booked. I was supposed to be speaking at Clifford's for the Milwaukee County GOP. My sincere apologies. I will not be able to make that, but please do. Our good buddy Nick Ruiz is going to be speaking there, as is Bob Donovan. It's Saturday afternoon at Clifford's. I actually have known the family that owns Clifford's forever. Wonderful people. It's a great establishment. It's quintessentially Wisconsin. It's in Hales Corners, Saturday afternoon, the Milwaukee County GOP. As you know, I am a very big fan of their chairman, Hilario De Leon, and what he's been able to do with the Milwaukee GOP. And in large measure, it's because he has been very open to partnering with Turning Point. Turning Point Action, as well as Turning Point USA, which is sort of the informational arm of it. Turning Point Action is the political action arm, as its name would suggest. These are Charlie Kirk's organizations. Kirk is a talk show host, podcast host. He is a younger guy, but he's been a big part of the conservative movement for quite some time. And the new addition to the app is a map that pinpoints your exact location and gives you 10 doors of Republican voters right near you in walking distance to knock. There's an old saying in politics, doors win elections. And what that means, it doesn't have to be a physical door knock, but personal voter contact. Think about how you choose where you're going to go for dinner. It's probably a friend's recommendation. Think about a painter for your house, probably a friend's recommendation. Well, if you've got somebody who is maybe someone you know, someone you recognize from the neighborhood, who tells you, hey, vote for Brad Schimmel, he would be a great Supreme Court justice, you're more likely to do so because you value that person's opinion. Personal contacts take advantage of that. The Democratic Party needs to pay people in order to do this. And Republicans are just starting to get the budget. I actually talked to Hilario and had to apologize and back out of his event. He told me the board just approved 10 paid door knockers to be blanketing Milwaukee County, especially in the south suburbs, from now until Election Day on April 1st to get out the vote in a critical county. Milwaukee County just has a ton of Republican votes. What the Turning Point Action app does is it doesn't just show you 10 random doors. It shows you 10 doors of people who data from, that is good data. It is a data collection firm that is very reputable and has contracted with both the Republican Party and Turning Point for quite some time. These are people who just voted and, based on past patterns, are very likely, almost certain in fact, to have voted for President Trump, Eric Hovde. They are Republicans, and they are people, therefore, who need to be contacted to, A, be reminded that there is an election coming up on April 1st, that Brad Schimmel is the conservative candidate, that Susan Crawford is the liberal, and that there is a devastating impact on the Trump agenda and pretty much every good government policy that we've had in Wisconsin, thanks to Scott Walker, if Crawford is actually able to win this race. It doesn't just give you those names. It gives you different doors than people who might be with you. So let's say Paul and I team up with Ben Yount, his producer Dave, Jay Weber, his producer Greg, and we all go out right outside the station. We're in Greenfield, a pretty solid Republican area. It's getting a bit more Democrat, but there are a lot of Republican votes there. Paul, if you and I were to download the Turning Point app, and I did download the Turning Point app, go to the section for voter contact, and you and I were to knock doors, push that button, you and I would get two totally different sets of 10 doors. Greg, Jay, Dave, Ben would all get different sets of doors. We would all, therefore, be able to fan out in a neighborhood and do 60 doors in a fraction of the time that it would take without this app. Now, this gets into a larger issue that I have been highlighting for much of the year here on the Dan O'Donnell Show, and that is that there is a segment of the Wisconsin GOP that doesn't like any sort of partnership with Turning Point or Turning Point Action. In fact, there has been a movement to include a resolution in the state party's convention in May that nobody who works for a 501c3 or C4 group, and basically they're just targeting Turning Point, can serve on the party's executive committee. Now, I highlighted the absurd hypocrisy of this. They claim it's because there would be a conflict of interest. Half of the executive committee has conflicts of interest. Most of them are working for lobbying firms. They're working for organizations that you would think would have some sort of conflicting interest in we all have the same interest. It's electing conservatives. It's electing Republicans. I do not understand. I have a core misunderstanding. I fundamentally, at a molecular level, I do not understand why Republicans are refusing to use data that Turning Point provides. How do you think the left has been able to mobilize every single one of their voters? There is not one college kid on the UW-Madison campus who does not vote because they know exactly who they are, they know exactly how to get them, and they have armies of people go out and almost literally drag them to the polls during in-person early voting. It's because they're getting data and they're partnering with third-party groups, get out the vote groups. In fact, the Stacey Abrams group, which just got $2 billion from the EPA, which she apparently admitted on the Chris Hayes show last week that she used to bribe voters by buying them new appliances. You think I'm making that up? She literally did. Democrats have no problem partnering with these groups. It isn't just the money advantage that gave Democrats a massive edge in pretty much every spring election since Brian Hagedorn won. I'll only consider that one about a half victory given Hagedorn's votes on the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Democrats have dominated these statewide races because they use programs like this. This is a massive leap forward for conservatives, for Republicans. In fact, people who always ask me, well, Dan, what can I do? Dan, what should we do? Dan, what? I hear it all the time. Download the app. First of all, contact your local party. Contact the Milwaukee County GOP, the Waukesha County GOP. I'm just realizing now I owe Terry Dietrich a text back. Sorry, Terry, if you're listening. We're going to have Terry on to talk about his WIS Red initiative, which is remarkable in how it informs voters of who the conservative, who the good candidates are in pretty much every single race in his county. School board, village board, town chairman. Hell, if they had town criers, Dietrich and WIS Red would tell you who the more conservative town crier was going to be. He understands it. Hilario De Leon understands it. Brandon Malley out in Dane County, who bizarrely faces a challenge just as De Leon did in Milwaukee County because, he's a 20-something who is taking the local party into the future because he's a Turning Point guy who is looking at this data and saying, we can use this. We can get everybody in our party to get this app, to get knocking doors. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. It's going to be 65 degrees again. You see how nice it is out today? You want to do something? Download this app right now. Spend the next 45 minutes walk around your neighborhood, knock on doors, and talk to them about Brad Schimmel. Ideally, go to your county party first so you can get trained. And then, if they're not willing to use this Turning Point data, why the hell not? Why the hell not? Folks, I have seen the future of Get Out the Vote. It is here. To Democrats, this is the past. We've been using this forever. Well, Republicans are finally matching them. And guess what? Democrats are scared. They're scared. Every panicked article about Elon Musk buying an election that Dan Bice and the other Journal Sentinel writers are churning out every day is an admission that they're terrified of this. It is the Turning Point Action app. Download it, use it, see for yourself what I'm talking about.
Get go!
Now, here's traffic from Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank. Call the Tri-City Total Traffic Tip Line at 414-944-5111.
Southbound 4145, Good Hope to the Zoo, taking 17 minutes. Heavy Appleton to Capitol with a crash off to the right. I-94 northbound, you got a stall on the exit to Beloit. Get on the left side of that ramp to get by. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Cordell & Cordell.
Cordell & Cordell. Divorce and Family Law. 866-323-7529. 111 East Kilbourne Avenue, Suite 1650, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53202. CordellCordell.com.
WISN listeners are savvy. How do we know? Because so many of them go to the place where the bargains are big time and the deals are devastating. Where?
BidOnMilwaukee.com.
Bid on a Canadian fishing adventure, home improvement packages, vacation deals, a luxury patio and fireplace, sliding drawer cabinets, and much more. With discounts as deep as 55% off retail.
BidOnMilwaukee.com.
Discover your deal of a lifetime. The Bid on Milwaukee online auction starts Wednesday, March 12th.
I'm Dan Voss from Cut & Go. Ugly and depressing and trees killed off by emerald ash, oak wilt, and Dutch elm disease are dangerous for friends and loved ones, even a potential liability. Slowly rotting, left-standing hardwood trees can weigh tens of thousands of pounds. Even seemingly smaller branches can weigh tens, even hundreds of pounds. With Cut & Go, there is no reason to risk injury or property damage. Live trees in precarious placement for an arborist to remove over homes, garages, commercial buildings, luxury landscapes are easily and safely laid on the ground by Cut & Go's NCCER crane-operated certified remote control automobile mounted articulating crane grapple saw operators. You can save big money and stock up on firewood by having Cut & Go put your trees on the ground for you to clean up or have a bonfire or split firewood. Or we can take it all with us when we leave. A Tons of Trees movement. CutandGoTrees.com. That's CUTNGO trees.com. Once again, that's cutandgotrees.com.
If you are waiting for a sign to finally create your will, this is it. Give your family peace of mind. Contact griefcivillaw.com today because tomorrow isn't guaranteed.
I'm Brett Ochtenhagen, owner of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services and host of the Designer Yard Show, heard every Saturday right here on WISN. Is your dream home on a lake, in the woods, or other environmentally sensitive area? Are you struggling with permitting or navigating the minefield of environmental regulations? My team can help. For more than 30 years, we've successfully attained landscaping permits for hundreds of projects in sensitive areas all over southeastern Wisconsin. Environmental protections benefit all of us by preserving natural resources that make our area a wonderful place to live, play, and raise a family. Over the past 30 years, we've been balancing the protection of our resources with our clients' desire to live in these splendid environments. And we've earned the trust of the local, county, and state agencies tasked with balancing these same needs. The experts at Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services are ready to help you create your beautiful, environmentally sensitive landscape. Call 262-392-3444 or visit us online at seasonalservices.com.
Dan O'Donnell cordially inviting you to the city I've dreamed of visiting forever, Rome, Italy. It's our very first European getaway with Cruise and Tour this coming November 6th through the 11th. We'll spend 6 incredible days and 5 magical nights in the Eternal City, the perfect amount of time to take in all that Rome has to offer. We'll tour the Colosseum, one of the great wonders of the world, and learn about the ancient empire at the Pantheon and the Forum. We'll take in the beauty and majesty of the Vatican, from St. Peter's Basilica to the Sistine Chapel, and the best part is, we'll do it all together, and Cruise and Tour will handle all of the details. No stress, just fun. You don't want to miss this dream vacation to Rome, and spots are sure to fill up fast, so make your reservation today by calling 800-383-3131 or heading to cruise-tour.com.
Warshawski trial attorney Frank Crivello here.
Folks, I'm Victor Harding. Frank is selected Best Lawyers 2024 Complex Litigation Lawyer of the Year.
More impressive is Victor Harding named Product Liability Attorney of the Year again for 2024.
It may sound boastful to mention these prestigious awards.
It's not boastful considering if you or someone you love is injured, you need to know 2 attorneys from the same personal injury firm being chosen by other lawyers and judges for these caliber of awards is very rare.
Heaven forbid you ever need an injury claim made on your behalf. If you do, the quality of your attorney and law firm will have a greater impact on the outcome than even the facts of your case.
Former clients, other lawyers, judges, law enforcement officers, and even insurance adjusters,
often our adversaries,
refer their family and friends to Warshawski because they know Warshawski will achieve maximum compensation.
Injured? It is about the money.
Warshawski.com.
That's Warshawski.com.
Have you ever wondered if your pet is lying to you?
Why is my cat not here? And I go in and she's eating my lunch.
Or if hypnotism is real?
You will use the suggestion to enhance your control.
Or what's inside a black hole?
Black holes could be a consequence of the way we understand the universe.
Well, we have answers for you in the new podcast, Science Stuff. Join me, Jorge Cham, as we answer questions about animals, space, our brains, and our bodies. Listen to Science Stuff on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart Radio app, search Science Stuff, and listen now.
This is God Willing, one of my absolutely favorite Irish punk songs by, you'll hear them a lot in the Dan O'Donnell Show, St. Patrick's Day bumper music rotation, the Dropkick Murphys. Yes, I am aware they probably do not support many of my political positions. Yeah, they're hardcore lefties. So what? They have some great songs. This, one of my favorites, called God Willing. We do have the bumper music playlist on Spotify. Just search for Dan O'Donnell Show's St. Patrick's Day bumper music. For those who are asking, Turning Point Action is the app. I believe it is for both Apple and Android. I've got an iPhone, so I don't really know. I do have access to the Google Play Store on various other smart devices. I haven't really checked to see if it's on there. Here, I'm going through with you. Just search for Turning Point Action. Of course, Apple does not make it easy to find. Clearly, if I'm typing in Turning Point, I'm looking for TP Action. And I believe it is technically titled TP Action. So download it, get signed up, and get to work. That's really all you need to do. It is so easy, in fact, that, frankly, it's about 3 clicks away. Now, I'm updating the app. Yeah, it's TP Action, okay? So just go Turning Point Action, TP Action. You'll see at the left-hand side of the screen, it'll say Become an Activist. Enter your name, your phone number, that's it. Once you're signed up, then you will have access to being able to knock doors for Turning Point Action. Every single Republican Party in the state of Wisconsin needs to be doing this. I was just at the Washington County event on Saturday. They had a Turning Point Action booth right next to the Moms for Liberty booth. Every single local county party, Republican Party of Wisconsin, partner with this organization. I am getting zero money from Turning Point in case, Dan's a Turning Point show. He's probably getting a ton of money. I'm getting absolutely nothing, nor would I ever take any money from any political organization or anything like that. Never. I get speaking fees. That's pretty much it. I see what wins elections. Data wins elections. Voter turnout wins elections. Door knocking, voter contact wins elections. Early voting wins elections. Yes, we are going to be running the state's largest early vote drive again for the state Supreme Court, the state superintendent, and the voter ID constitutional amendment that is also on the statewide ballot on April 1st. Folks, it's already March 10th. We've basically got 3 weeks. It is an all-out sprint. I don't think I have ever seen the left more panicked about a spring election than they are right now. That's why I told you about that Institute for Reforming Government poll. Boy, when even the pollster says, yeah, this might be accurate, it might not be, Crawford sure as hell ain't acting like she's winning. Janet Protasewicz 2 years ago was acting like she was winning. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel was acting like Protasewicz was going to win. Crawford does not see. I think this race is tight. If I had to guess, the left is more motivated to vote because they're coming off an election loss, and what we've seen is that typically does carry over. I would give her a slight edge. I would give Jill Underly probably somewhere in the neighborhood of a 5 to 6 point edge over Brittany Kinzer in a state superintendent race with an incumbent Underly running. That's remarkable. The data from this Turning Point app, if people are willing to get involved, if you are willing right now on this beautiful Monday afternoon, go out, contact your local party. If you are the chairman of a local party and I am telling people to contact you and you don't get back to them, so help me, I will hear about it and you're going to be hearing from me. Get back to these people. If they are contacting you to volunteer, if they are contacting you to knock doors, A, you had better be open to using the Turning Point data. B, you had better get back to them and put them to work instantly, not just licking envelopes, but I want teams in the field. It's going to be gorgeous for the next little while here. Take advantage of it. Get out in every neighborhood because you have got thousands and thousands and thousands of people who we know turned out for Donald Trump a couple of months ago. They need to be told explicitly, Brad Schimmel loses, lefties are going to use Susan Crawford to gerrymander the congressional maps so that Democrats can win in 2026. And guess what? They're going to impeach Trump again. It's a real easy message. Oh, yeah, by the way, Act 10, all that money that you have saved, gone. Voter ID, you care about voter integrity, gone. Done. Everything is gone. Everything is out. If this woman gets on the court, go out there, tell people, because we've got a great story to tell. Don't you love all of the reforms that have been going on at the federal level? Don't you love the cuts to government? Don't you love the executive actions? None of that can happen, regardless of who wins the governor's race in 2026. Regardless of who wins control of the state legislature, if we've got a liberal Supreme Court, they're going to veto everything Republicans do. They're going to act as a super legislature that is going to strike down literally everything that comes out of Governor Tom Tiffany or Governor Eric Hovde or whoever the candidate, whoever the next governor, God willing, is. They're just going to strike it down. Everything Scott Walker did, going to be struck down. As soon as Susan Crawford wins that election, they will take the Act 10 case and they will strike down Act 10. She was the attorney for the Madison Teachers Union in one of the first lawsuits against Act 10 in 2011. Of course, she's going to vote to strike it down. Of course, the other three liberal hacks, even though it has been upheld over and over and over again, are going to vote to strike it down. You can strike a blow against that. You can stop that from happening. Get the app, contact your local party. If you don't hear back within 4 or 5 days, let me know, and trust me, they'll answer me, because I will demand answers as to why you are not taking the free help that's offered local GOPs. But I guarantee you Terry Dietrich will answer. I guarantee you Hilario De Leon in Milwaukee. I guarantee you Laura Jones in Washington County. They will answer. I know Ozaukee has got a pretty darn good chairman whose name is totally on the tip of my tongue right now. Racine County, I believe it's Michelle Voss is very plugged in. The wife of former Michelle Lichens. She's now married to Robin Voss, the Assembly Speaker. You have got good county chairs who are forward thinking, who will be using this data in the biggest cluster of Republican votes. Might not be the biggest percentage of Republican votes, but Southeast Wisconsin, biggest cluster. And then you've got Dane County. Brandon Malley does incredible work getting money, getting volunteers, expanding the party. Sign up. You're listening to me on 1310 WIBA. Sign up. I guarantee you Brandon will get back to you. Someone on his staff will get back to you. They will put you to work. You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show. Classical conservatism and contemporary style.
Now, here's traffic from Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank. Call the Tri-City Total Traffic Tip Line at 414-944-5111.
Still dealing with the crash off to the right shoulder. 4145 southbound at Capitol, heavy back to Appleton. 15 minutes from Good Hope to the zoo. Your northbound 43 trip taking 20 to Brown Deer. Delay starting north of the Marquette to Kiev. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by the Lynch Automotive family of dealerships.
Push, pull, or drag in your trade and save with our $5,100 minimum discount on all used vehicles. This week at the Lynch family of dealerships in Burlington, Kenosha, McGuanago, and West Bend.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
The ACLU is suing to stop deportations.
Immigrant rights groups are suing to stop President Trump's order to close the U.S.-Mexico border.
To win the legal fight against the illegal alien invasion, Republicans must vote early in the April 1st Wisconsin Supreme Court election.
So if you want to save America, register, get an absentee or mail-in ballot, vote early.
Vote for conservative Brad Schimmel for Wisconsin Supreme Court. Apply for your absentee ballot online. Go to myvote.wi.gov to vote absentee by mail.
You must get your ballot in. You got to make it too big to rig.
When Republicans vote, Wisconsin wins. Go to myvote.wi.gov and vote early for Brad Schimmel and stop the illegal alien invasion. America's PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidate's agent or committee.
Hey, this is Chris Leby with Lake Country Flat Fee. Are you getting ready to sell your home soon? If you're going to be selling your home, then consider our services. We have a 23-year track record of success. We have expert realtors who are efficient, very knowledgeable at what they do, and provide an exceptional level of service. And savings are a given. Our sellers save about 50% versus a traditional 6% broker. To learn more or to schedule a free market analysis, visit our website at lakecountryflatfee.com.
Baseball is back. All Brewers games are on sale now. Score a seat to opening day. All new theme nights and games with can't-miss giveaways now. Gear up for a huge season. The Crew is back. Get your seats now at brewers.com/ticket finder.
Jay Weber here. If you're someone who's experiencing shoulder, spine, hip, knee, or musculoskeletal pain and a total joint replacement might be in your future, think Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Find them at orthowisconsin.com. At Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, their physicians are committed to providing the highest quality of joint care and specialize in same-day total joint replacements at their own ambulatory surgery center in Pewaukee. You can find them at orthowisconsin.com. orthowisconsin.com. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
Let Tri-County Contracting take care of the outside of your home so you don't have to. Worry-free roofing, siding, and windows from Tri-County Contracting. Call us at 262-679-6100 or visit us online at tricountycontractingwi.com.
A customer asked me, how's business? And he kind of said it in an empathetic, I feel your pain, bro kind of way. And I said, actually, business is strong. And he was like, really? I think with Home Depot and Lowe's that you might be feeling a pinch. And I said, we've never had a problem staying busy because we know our stuff. We do great work. And in store here, we stock a lot of important parts that the big box guys don't. It brings a lot of their customers our way. And he said, that's funny because that's why I'm here. And we both laughed and I was able to find what he needed. And it gave his windows a life extension. If it weren't for those big box guys sending customers our way, we might feel a little pinch. But that's why we stock more window and door parts than anyone, along with an amazing selection of high-quality windows and doors, installed by hand-picked quality craftsmen. This is David Wilhelm, and it's no wonder why Lisbon Storm Screen and Door is your clear choice for more.
Your clear choice for more. Lisbon Storm Screen and Door.
Find us at 51st and Lisbon.
This is House Call for Health. Tea is known to be one of the healthiest beverages, and the benefits aren't just what's in the cup. Analysts from Northwestern University in Illinois found the process of brewing tea was shown to remove toxic heavy metals from drinking water. The data shows during brewing, heavy metals like lead and cadmium are absorbed by the tea leaves, keeping them from entering the water. They also said the longer the tea is brewed, the more reduction in metal content. Researchers say for a typical cup of tea, the preparation could remove about 15% of lead from drinking water. But they caution people shouldn't rely on tea to clean their water because they're not public health researchers. So it remains to be seen if the levels of lead reduction they observed would translate to population-wide health benefits. The findings are published in the journal ACS Food, Science, and Technology. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Well, we have just about 30 seconds left in the Dan O'Donnell Show, which is good. As much as I was cursing daylight saving time yesterday as I got an hour less sleep, I'm going to go outside and play. Don't worry, though, we will be back tomorrow. Hope everyone is able to enjoy this weather and has a great evening. You've been listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show.